All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? It is Friday afternoon, America's finest city. John Schaefer, Alan Slewa.
What's up, brother?
You look refreshed. You were at the DMV this morning, so you look
DMV.
like you're feeling good.
Yeah.
I called him today. We usually prepare for the show with a morning call.
I had a lot of time to prep.
He's like, I'm in line at the DMV. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Did it work, whatever you were trying to do?
I'm going to give the DMV a little bit of credit here.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, listen, you get in, you scan your, on your phone, kind of hit a link here, sign in just through basically you're signing in through your phone. It's like you're already in the queue. And if you want to take off for a little bit, you could take off, and it's just constantly updating you.
Does it say like 22 minutes?
I was G80. Let me tell you a little bit about G80 real quick, okay? And when I walked in, it was G59.
So you had 20-something people in front of you?
And then I think when you called me, I said I'm 11 away.
Yeah.
But then like 15 minutes went by, and I was still 11 away. How long did it take? It probably took a half hour.
Why were you there?
That's fine.
Can't you do everything online? When I just renew my license online.
No. I had 3 things I had to knock out all at once. I officially changed my address back to San Diego. You could do that online.
Okay.
Real ID.
Online.
Can't do that online.
Can't do that.
I don't think you can, which is why I was there.
Do I have one?
I don't think you have Real ID.
Do I need one?
Yeah, you need it for travel.
I travel like every day.
Yeah, but they're starting to, unless you bring your passport. If you bring your passport, you're fine.
Tell me without showing this to the camera if I have it.
And some airlines now, if you pay like an extra, like I think it's $40, you don't need the Real ID.
I have no idea because I don't have a Real ID.
I can tell you at the break. It'll have like a watermark thing on it.
It says California.
That's good. That's good. That's
so
good.
okay. So
but listen, DMV wasn't all that bad.
Was it costly? What are they charging these days for this Real IDs?
Everything I did, I said, can we do this under the table? I asked under the table. I said, look, for tax purposes.
Doing a 10% Friday deal? 10%?
I don't know. It was maybe under $50, something like that. But I had to renew my ID, put the new address, get the, what's it called? I had to do a photo today, too. Today was a photo. Let me just tell you something. I didn't know I had a photo going.
You had a photo today.
I shaved my head like after the photo. Like I had no idea. I had a hat on the whole day. I had to take it off. I probably have like the imprints of my hat in my photo.
Yeah.
No idea it was going to be that.
I would think that most Americans would put visiting the DMV among the least enjoyable parts of being like a citizen. Now, it has nothing to do with citizenship, but like things that people dread doing, maybe going to the dentist. Wouldn't DMV like crack a top 5 if this was Family Feud?
I went twice in 2 weeks because I basically went and they're like, listen, come back in 2 weeks because you could do this all at once.
Okay, no biggie.
It wasn't bad both times, and I just thought it was going to be terrible.
Maybe it's the reputation. Like my belief is I'm scared to do it.
I'll give them that. It's not as bad as it used to be.
Okay, there you
go. We're onto something.
Yeah. Well, they'll even have signs like when you walk in that if you can do it at home, they tell you do it at home. Don't come in if you can do it there. So that kind of thinned out the herd, so to speak, a little bit. But it's not as bad as it used to be.
I went to the one, University Heights, I think off Normal Street, I think is a street.
One spectacular.
And it was packed, a lot of people, but they were moving. They're moving. And by the way, shout out to them. I don't know what they were doing here in the office. Everybody rocking Padre gear.
The DMV workers?
Everybody
or the
rocking
people
Padre
going
gear.
To the DMV?
The DMV workers. Let's go.
You know why? You saw last night a critical win for the Padres to avoid. I agree with. Did you mention this on air yesterday? What AJ Cassavell had to say, which is it's not a 2-game swing, but it's almost a 3-game swing last night.
Cassavell was put out a tweet, had a video. You and I were talking about it, and then I saw his video on there, and he's like, "This is as big of a game as you could have in August without us trying to be too dramatic." It kind of was,
right? Because the loss, you're 3 out, and you're staring down the barrel of likely losing the season series. So you're kind of like 4 out. But a win, you're 1 out and even in the season series.
You got 3 left to play in San Diego. Go take 2 or 3, and you've put yourself in an interesting position.
Do we think, and this is impossible to predict, but if you had to put money on it, will it come down to that series or not? Like if you were betting one way or the other.
Final
3 of the year.
Yeah.
As in either team could be up by 3+ games, or it could be a different series of teams. It could be Miami or St. Louis. Will it matter? Those 3 games? 46 to play. So that'll be 43 games into the future.
I feel like SD's got a higher upside than Arizona the rest of the way. That's what I feel. And I feel you just got Padres are playing better baseball. There's no denying that. Their offense has been a lot better than they've been. I'll tell you this, whether it comes down to that weekend or not, I didn't learn jack, you know what, in this 4-game set against Arizona.
Okay.
What did I? It was Arizona with a blowout, Padres with a blowout, Arizona with a blowout, Padres with a blowout. As in, really, the games, that was the most boring 4-game set that meant something that went 2-2 that I've watched. These games didn't come down to anything.
Yeah, there weren't leads back and forth, games hanging in the balance late.
Either the Padres did nothing or the Padres looked phenomenal.
Something. Yeah, I agree.
Is that safe to say? So, whether it comes down in the final weekend or not, I don't know if I learned anything from these two teams.
Right. On one hand, it's like, are the teams even? Or, like, I don't know.
Technically,
there are games.
Technically, by that series, they are even. Like, in the sense of they went 2-2. You probably, I don't know what the run differential was for that series, but probably pretty
similar,
close.
yeah.
So I don't know what I really learned from that series.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I tend to like.
They didn't look like dominating playoff teams. Nothing like that.
No, not necessarily. But then again, they don't always look like that. You know what I mean? With the way like the Dodgers are playing, for example, right now. But here's where I am with it. It's like, on one hand, you want to believe the Padres are a better team than Arizona, and there's a couple of reasons to think that they may be. What they did at the deadline, addressing needs. Yeah. Arizona wasn't able to necessarily do that. The Padres maybe get healthier here down the stretch. Jason Adam, for example. We'll wait on Pivetta, Musgrove.
Could get some help as well. So they got
Arizona's impressed me. It's a long way of me saying I've been impressed enough by Arizona, but I still feel better today about the Padres than I did maybe even entering the series. Why? Because they avoided falling maybe further behind. I think by staying one back, they're almost in the more favorable position than Arizona. They're fine, man. There's so much baseball in front of them.
Sure,
They've added Robbie Ray. Hopefully they get healthier. I'm with you. I think in the long haul, long run, I'm going to trust San Diego to figure this out if it comes down to San Diego and Arizona.
Yeah, and like you said, whether it comes down to that series or not, you kind of have that in your back pocket. I thought what last night did for the Padres, like we said, like, come on, you're going to start out this freaking trade deadline losing 3 of 4 against a team that's right in front of you.
Right.
Or you're going to walk away and say, we came back 500, head above water. Let's go into this new series against the Astros. Obviously, you got some much tougher competition that's coming. But I just go back to, I think the series was, the series.
It was weird.
It was just a weird series. Like, you were never really sitting on pins and needles at all. Either you were comfortable because the Padres jumped out to a 3-0 lead, or they're down 5-0, and I'm like, why am I even still watching this game? So there was nothing from that perspective. And here's another thing that didn't help: what the hell's going on in Arizona
with their
why
fan
don't people
base?
Come to games? Has it always been like that?
But this is the point, and you've heard me make this, and you've made it as well. This is where, like, we should be so thankful to be in San Diego right now with the way the Padres are supported, because I'm telling you, there's other good teams or similar teams to San Diego.
These guys are in a playoff race.
They don't hold a candle to the Padres. I mean, so many of these teams, dude. Watch the St. Louis Cardinals, a proud franchise, half full. Watch the Washington Nationals with their young core, half full. Baltimore, half full. Pittsburgh, half full. Anaheim, right? There's a lot of examples.
But Arizona, what's Arizona's excuse? A couple of years ago, you're in the World Series. You got some good talent.
It's hot.
And is it simply, literally, is it like just the weather? Nobody wants to get the hell outside?
Milwaukee's the same way.
And they're
Packers training camp started, so the Brewers are secondary now in the state of Wisconsin. So you'll start seeing lots of empty seats at Miller Park or American Family Field or whatever it's called now.
That really, really sucks for, like, imagine these players who are Milwaukee. That's I can't even fathom that the Milwaukee Brewers are having trouble selling out a stadium.
They're 12th in baseball.
And if you're a Packer fan, for the love of God, it's August 7th. Relax. It's fine.
Big season, though.
You're not missing anything.
But Padres, by the way, are still second in attendance over the New York Yankees. So, like, that's how good of a draw it is here locally. And we're going to see it all week long.
It's crazy.
Houston here with a 3-game set.
Then you got the Brewers.
And then the Brewers are here for a 3-game set.
Who they have after Milwaukee? Or they go on the road?
They do go on the road. Mm-hmm. Brent, where are they going after that? By the way, Chandler Rome from The Athletic. He covers the Astros. You're going to hear a conversation with Chandler Rome coming up at 3:30. Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider, will join the show at 4 p.m. The other huge story, they'll be in Cleveland. Thank you. The other huge story coming out of yesterday is Nick Pivetta has been officially paused in his rehab effort. So he has been paused. He has to be on a mound by August 22nd, or the Padres can void his contract. My expectation, Alan, is if he is not on the mound by August 22nd, his contract will be voided. That would be my expectation with everything that's played out around Nick Pivetta, who's owed $32 million. It's a shame for the Padres. It's a shame for Pivetta. And now we wait on what's next, unfortunately.
Yeah, there was a quote yesterday. I'll give you the exact quote from Craig Stammen. We're just finishing our show.
Yep.
And I think we saw a tweet from Kevin Acee.
Yeah.
And here's what he said. He said, anytime someone comes off the mound in the middle of an inning when they're rehabbing an elbow injury, you've got to pause for just a little bit. It would be, in my opinion, a little reckless to go, hey, throw your bullpen 2 days later, make your start on 4 days rest, and you'll be fine. He said one other thing. I think if we're really taking really good care of him, we're being a little bit more diligent this week, and then maybe he recovers well, and it wasn't an issue. Stammen not exactly the best at, No, I mean, there's just been a couple times I think Stammen. Yeah. I think it's his nature to be optimistic. I think him saying what he said yesterday, I would take a much more cautious approach whenever talking about Nick Pivetta. But you and I can't be sitting here, nor can anyone in that organization feel good about the position Pivetta's in right now.
Well, it's interesting that Stammen mentioned, did he say negligent in the quote, Alan? Or what was, you used a word that was pretty strong from Stammen about having him throw a bullpen in 2 days? It would be
he said reckless. A little reckless.
Well, it's funny. That's reckless because he threw a bullpen after leaving the mound same day. So if a bullpen 2 days later is reckless, the idea that a training staff would allow someone under contract to do that without knowing the extent of what he's dealing with is insanity to me.
Can the player just say, yes, I don't care?
100%. 100%.
That sounds like, Pivetta could have just been like, F it.
They might have been like, are you sure? He's like, I feel good. I'm going out.
No, he could say, I don't feel good. I don't care. Like it could be literally
blow my arm out.
One of those situations of where I'm going to find out one way or the other.
100%. You're right. All right, coming up at 3:30, Chandler Rome. He covers the Astros for The Athletic. They are in town to begin a 3-game series here tonight. Plus, where are the Padres in terms of contenders now in both the National and Major Leagues? We'll discuss that on the other side. Chandler Rome at 3:30, Kevin Acee at 4 on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, San Diego Sports 760 has 9 chances to win $1,000 every weekday with the bonus bucks giveaway. That's every hour, 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. Listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. Your next chance to win $1,000 coming up after 4 p.m. on San Diego Sports 760.
All right, Chandler Rome covers the Astros for The Athletic. He joins us coming up at 3:30. Kevin Acee at 4 p.m. at Schaefer and Sliwa with you on this Friday afternoon. What do you got?
Here's a question I got for you. I don't know. I don't know if we have an answer here. Let's just say this is inevitable and Nick Pivetta is not throwing another pitch this year.
Okay.
And you know, I'm sure this is going to be a talking point. Maybe we get another update tonight before Padres take on the Astros from Craig Stammen. Maybe we get an update over the weekend. Is it just like a foregone conclusion that contract, is that just what happens in baseball?
Well, I think it's atypical to have a deal like
we're cutting that $32 million. And
no, because this is a rare deal. It's a Preller special with opt-ins in the middle of a short deal like this. Like, even the way it's written, Alan, there's an opt-out for the Padres because of missing 130 consecutive days. I mean, what are the odds of this actually happening? Well, It is pitching, but it's not overly likely. I think if you're the organization, it's not personal to Pivetta. It's like, what is his health? What does the medical say? If his elbow is about to blow out, or if he misses an entire year or has to undergo Tommy John, does he come back? Or could they restructure his deal? Maybe they could restructure his deal. Just seems like a pretty big commitment from the organization without any certainty on his status moving forward.
Yeah, it's a good point that you would have a clause in there that if you're out for 130 straight. But listen, I'm sure Nick Pivetta, when he was signing that contract, like, I'm not going to be out from the beginning of the season after 4 starts. And then by August 22nd, I'm going to hit the stretch where all of a sudden my contract is voided.
Yep.
The whole thing is just weird. And I think for me, it's been really tough to get any proper answers of what the hell's going on with Nick Pivetta.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even from when he initially got the injury, you remember at that time, Craig Stammen's like, we don't know. He could not miss a start. And then a couple of weeks go by, then a couple of months go by. Now here we're sitting here, a couple of days ago, everyone was excited to see Joe Musgrove and Nick Pivetta in Lake Elsinore. And Pivetta just walked off the mound. Never seen that before. Then throws 30 pitches after that, after his,
that's
the whole
almost
thing is just so odd. And then there's some reports out there, hey, this might have been a good thing because he might have tested and kind of got over a mental thing. Yeah, scare, whatever the case is.
A day later.
And then he's paused.
My overall sentiment is this. It's a lot like Joe Musgrove. And I think Kevin Acee said this on Wednesday. And he's joining us again coming up within the hour. He said, I'm paraphrasing, there's an inevitability his elbow is going to go. So what happens? You're dealing with this forearm strain or whatever it is, the exact terminology. It means you have fraying or a partial tear. What happens with fraying or a partial tear eventually becomes a full tear. Now, maybe you're on borrowed time. Maybe you just go until it goes, so to speak. That was Joe Musgrove in 2024. So maybe you can go until it goes. But it sounds like, at least for Pivetta, there have been a series of setbacks. He can't even just go because clearly he had a setback just the other day. So it's a very weird spot for him to be in, is what I would say.
The final quote from Craig Stammen yesterday, I didn't read this part. We'll probably give him a couple extra days to figure out what is going on and whether we need to pull him back a little bit or if we can just keep going. There's just no. And listen, I'm not. Yeah. It's nobody's fault here. It's
no, of course not.
But we want an answer. It's like, no, that's not how it works. They don't have an answer. But it's been a very odd injury. Never really got too much information of when you think he's going to ramp up and come back. And then here they are now pushing because they're at a deadline. And obviously we saw what happened. So, obviously I think maybe if there's any good that can come out of this, and there's anything that just comes through for Nick Pivetta, awesome. If not, then, the Musgrove piece of this, but you feel bad for Pivetta because he's got this contract looming in the distance as well.
I'm not hopeful, unfortunately.
I'm with you.
All right, ESPN has a list of contenders in baseball. They have top-tier contenders and second-tier contenders. They also have teams just hanging on and teams looking ahead. And the Padres are a second-tier contender. Remember, like a week or two ago, we read an article, and the Padres were in like tier 12. It was like tier 5 out of 6. Now, this is different, But they put them, where was it, 12th or 11th on this list?
I think they're 12th. Astros might be
11th.
in front of them.
Yeah, the Astros are 11th. The Padres are 12th. They still have the Padres with a win average of 83.3 wins, the 12th best contender in baseball today.
Yeah, I'm trying to see who is this. Bradford Doolittle put together the article. I'll just read his kind of and Padres. Listen, being in a second tier, I gotta be honest with you, that's
not terrible.
But I mean, if you only have 2 tiers, and I mean, Padres are in the second tier as the number 12 team. Obviously, this is a tier that's a little bit different, but it's post trade deadline. Here's what they said. I didn't love the Padres deadline, at least in terms of the direction, though it was another aggressive trading period for AJ Preller. By adding Casey Mize, Robbie Ray, there's little question that they improved the rotation that I now rate at 69% complete, ranking 9th.
Even mean?
Does he mean just they can add more to the pitching, as in they're healthier? Anyways, but the biggest question he has here, he's talking about, will the Machados, Merrills, Tatis, and Xander Bogaerts be able to kind of carry the Padres offensively? That's a fair question to have there.
It really is. Now, I will say this, like from an analytical perspective, the Padres from the last time ESPN looked in until now, like they had a 5.5% chance of making the postseason the last time ESPN did this exercise.
Interesting.
It's now up to 35.2.
Really?
Their win average was 77.9 the last time they did this, 19th best in baseball. Now it's up to 83.3. Well, they are now 10-3 in their last 13 games because they were 8-1 and they just went 2-2. They're 10-3 in their last 13 games.
10. Right. You add 2 to it.
No, they're 10. You take
what
the 8.
What did you say? What did you? Oh, you said
8-1 plus 2-2 is 10-3. So they are trending in a good direction. Everyone always tells us, but John, they didn't play anyone.
Trending, and they added 2 starting pitchers they didn't have.
And the idea was, well, but they didn't play anyone. Well, now they played Arizona. Now they weren't unbelievable, but they did go 2-2 on the road, which they had to do.
You kind of, if you can playoff teams, if you could just go 500 versus playoff teams. Nobody has to have this unbelievable winning percentage against these good teams. Go 500 against the playoff teams. Keep beating up on the bad teams. You're going to find yourself in the playoffs.
Agreed. Chandler Rome on the Astros, who are surging. They've won 12 of 15. They're in first place now in the AL West, the only team in the division now over 500. We'll catch up on the Astros with Chandler Rome from The Athletic, and Kevin Acee will join us at 4 p.m. on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. The Padres and Astros are getting set for game 1 of their series tonight down at Petco Park. It's going to be Ronald Blanco going for the Astros and Robbie Ray making his Padres debut. First pitch is at 6:40. In NFL news, there was a scuffle at Raiders practice today between Max Crosby and Kirk Cousins. Allegedly, Crosby hit him a couple times and he wasn't supposed to. Running business and not thinking about radio, think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
All right, Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 4 p.m. Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider. Chandler Rome from The Athletic.
Yeah.
All right.
Covers the
Padres.
Houston Astros.
He does. And the Padres are playing the Astros, the first of a 3-game series. A couple of teams playing good baseball. Padres 10-3 in their last 13. Astros 12-3 in their last 15. We've got Chandler with us right now on San Diego Sports 760. And Chandler, what has been the key to this Astros resurgence over the last few weeks?
Jordan Alvarez is pretty good. Jeremy Pena really too. It's interesting when you look at their position player group. Their position player group, according to Baseball Reference, is worth 17 wins above replacement. Jeremy Pena, Jordan Alvarez, and Isaac Paredes are worth 11.3 of that. So this is essentially a 3-man team. Like when you look at the lineup, it's a 3-man lineup. If you neutralize any of those 3 guys, it is really hard for this team to win. But in the last 3 weeks, they've gotten some contributions from Jose Altuve, who is starting to look a little bit closer to the guy that you think Jose Altuve is. Yainer Diaz has had a couple nice games here recently. Cam Smith is contributing a little bit, but they need just anything from below the top 3 guys in their order, because those 3 guys are really carrying this thing. And the other thing that is kind of gone, not talked about a ton, but because it's a bunch of guys that you've really never heard of until the last guy, but their bullpen has been one of the best bullpens in baseball for the last 3 months. They have the 3rd lowest bullpen ERA in baseball since May 1st. A lot of that does coincide with Josh Hader coming back. He's been excellent at the back end, but they've got guys like Steven Okert, Brian Abreu's pitched a lot better. AJ Bluebaugh has been a godsend for them. So they're starting. Their rotation is not great. Their lineup is very top heavy. But if they get to the 5th or the 6th inning with a lead, this bullpen has shown that it is capable of closing it out.
Chandler, quick follow up there on Josh Hader. Has he lived up to expectations for the Astros? Obviously, he was a part of the Padres, signs a big contract with the Astros. How has he lived up to that exact contract?
I mean, well, I guess it kind of is in the eyes of the beholder, right? Like, is it worth paying a closer $95 million? That's something that a lot of, I guess, forward-thinking front offices maybe wouldn't do. But look, for the contract he's on, he's been incredible. He's been incredible this season. He got injured for the first time in his professional career. He had to miss the last 2 months of last year and didn't pitch this season until May because of shoulder and bicep things. But when he's been on the field, he's been excellent. Now, it really hasn't shown through because since Josh Hader's been on the team, the Astros have played in 2 playoff games. They've lost both of them, and one of them they lost. He was on the mound when they lost. So it kind of is dampered that way. But you look at just his regular season performance and kind of what he means to the back end of that bullpen. Like, he has been everything they envisioned and more.
Chandler Rome with The Athletic. He covers the Astros with us right now. Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760. What were the expectations for the Astros at the deadline? Obviously pretty quiet. Padres a little more aggressive. 2 teams that are kind of in similar spots. You look at their overall record or their chances of getting to the postseason. But what was the reaction to what the Astros did or did not do last week?
It was very underwhelming. I think from fans, from just quite honestly what I expected them to do. I thought a good deadline for them would have been to get an established outfielder that they can hit in the middle of their order, and they did that. Dalton Varsho qualifies as that, and to get a starter that they felt confident starting a playoff game, and they did not do that. And there was a lot of reasons why. The asking prices for these starters were enormously high, and to be frank, owner Jim Crane gave a directive to the front office saying you cannot trade anyone off of the major league roster. And I know they traded Spencer Arrighetti for Dalton Varsho, but Spencer Arrighetti was on the IL. He was not on the active roster. So Dana Brown, who was in the final year of his contract and was a lame duck general manager, Dana Brown was really kind of fighting with a hand tied behind his back. He does not have a good farm system. The asks for these starting pitchers were the type that were going to really, really crater this farm system. And, quite frankly, I think Dana did something that maybe not a lot of executives would do, because look, if I was in his shoes and if I didn't have a future guaranteed beyond this year, first thing I'd say, screw these kids. I'm trading everybody. I'm trying to get this team to the playoffs. I'm trying to get this team to win a World Series. But he took a more measured approach. He said he didn't want to damage the future. He said this was his quote. He said it's the ethical thing to do. And so that's what they're going to do. But it was an underwhelming deadline because going in, their two foremost needs were outfield and starting pitching. And they got an outfielder, but not addressing the rotation could come back to bite them.
Chandler, I know you're not covering the Padres and watching AJ Preller's every move, but how do you view, just look how opposite those two trade deadlines were, like you mentioned, the way the Astros approached it and even leading the division, how they approached it. And here the Padres, not a guarantee at all to make a playoff spot, fighting with the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Phillies for a wild card, one of those wild card spots. How do you view AJ Preller? How do you look at his aggressiveness, and would you call it careless? Would you call it aggressive? How would you describe it?
Yeah, he's something, man. I don't know how he does it. I really don't know how he does it, because if you look at a lot of the outside prospect rankings, like the Padres have a worse farm system than the Astros. And somehow the Padres were able to get Casey Mize and were able to get Robbie Ray, and the Astros, those are guys that they wanted, and they could not find a way to get that done. So in some ways, it's frustrating for Astros fans to look at when all they hear about is how, they don't have a great farm system. They're not going to be able to build a package. Well, AJ Preller has a worse farm system, and was able to build packages and get things done. I think AJ just, he wants to win now. I think it's very much it's a different way of thinking. And again, you guys would know better than me, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's not as much ownership interference in San Diego as there is in Houston. And I can't begin to underscore that enough, because Jim Crane is very involved in baseball operations decisions. Jeff Bagwell, the Hall of Fame first baseman, is kind of Jim's right-hand man, who's in all these baseball ops meetings and kind of goes back and gives Jim the intel. And I don't think Dana has near the autonomy that AJ Preller has to do what he did at the deadline.
Yeah, Chandler, it'll be interesting because Padres are right in the middle of this. Probably in the next 2 weeks or so, they will get new ownership that's officially announced, and how that will change that dynamic, how much they still allow AJ Preller to do his thing, we'll wait to see what that looks like.
I wanted to ask you, Chandler, about just the state of the American League, where you have this Boston.
Can we
team.
Get in there? No. Can we get into your division? We want to jump right into the West if that's possible.
No doubt. The only team over 500, as you know, is the Astros. But how do you look at the American League in general, where the hottest team by far is a team that's actually still in third place in their division in the Boston Red Sox? But how would the Astros stack up if they did win the West?
Well, it's so weird because, you say the Red Sox are the hottest team, and they are, but the Astros played them. They got their two series over with them before, like May 15th. So all I've seen of the Red Sox is them being awful. So the fact that they've run off this run, I kind of can't believe it. I can't believe it just based off the team I saw 2 months ago. But let's go to the American League West real quick. Not only are the Astros the only team over 500, there is not a team in that division with a positive run differential. It's pretty staggering, really. And David Forst was fired today by the A's. That makes 2 mid-season GM firings in the American League West. And to make it all even better, the division leaders, the Astros, have a lame duck manager and a lame duck general manager. So look, it's the company you keep. Geography sometimes works in your favor. It may take being 500 to win this division. Like, it may be 83, 84 wins this division. And look, the Astros, the one thing the Astros have that maybe the other teams in this division don't have, obviously they have Yordan Alvarez, right? He's the prohibitive favorite to win AL MVP. Hunter Brown, when he is on, he's finished third in Cy Young voting last year. Like, he is an ace. Jeremy Pena is one of the 5 best shortstops in baseball. Josh Hader is an elite closer. Their top-end talent is the best in the division. When they are playing to that capability, they have the top end talent to really scare a lot of teams in a short series, but just the depth around it is not great. So it's going to be kind of an endurance test of who kind of outlasts the other. You know, the Astros do have the tiebreaker over the Texas Rangers in the division, but they had a 1-9 road trip, the Astros did in April, where 3/5 of their rotation got hurt. Part of that 1-9 road trip is they got swept in a 4-game series at T-Mobile Park by the Mariners. And they have already lost the season tiebreaker to the Mariners. Now, the Mariners have given me no reason to believe that they're going to go on a run, but if you look at that roster, I think that is the most talented roster in this division. So that could loom pretty large. The Astros, once they get off this road trip, they go home and they have 3 against the Mariners in Houston. They have 2 more in Seattle at the end of the year. So I'm going to be looking for that just because I think if there is a team that has the talent, that has the pedigree to challenge the Astros, it's the Mariners, and they already have a leg up because the Astros don't have that tiebreaker.
Chandler, final one from me. Just curious, as we get ready to start a 3-game set, it's critical for obviously the Padres, critical for the Astros. When Houston isn't at their best, what's happening? Just so I think you can educate Padre fans a little bit. When they're not their best, what does that look like?
Well, when they're not at their best, Yordan Alvarez is neutralized. And by neutralized, I mean like he gets a couple walks and hits a single, and he doesn't hit the ball in the ballpark.
Jeez.
You know, Jeremy Pena is neutral. Like, that's the thing. If you neutralize the top 3 in their order, Pena, Alvarez, Paredes, that's going to spell doom for them. And then the other thing is their rotation. There's a lot of uncertainty in their rotation. They don't know who's going to pitch on Sunday. Today's Ronel Blanco's 3rd start off of Tommy John surgery, and he's been very inconsistent. Peter Lambert, who pitches tomorrow, has been just a revelation for them. He's on a minor league deal and has been one of the 5 most valuable pitchers in the American League. He's been really, really good for them, but how much longer can they count on that? Because Peter Lambert's not a guy that you look at and say, oh, this is a definite, turning point kind of ace. You're kind of waiting for that bubble to burst a little bit. So when they're not at their best, their starting pitching is faltering and putting too much pressure on their bullpen, and they're just not getting contributions from anyone other than Paredes, Alvarez, and Pena. So I guess my advice would be just keep Yordan Alvarez in the ballpark, but that's easier said than done.
It's so easy. Just get Alvarez out and the top hitters for the Astros, and the Padres sweep this series. So easy, right? I'll tell the coaching staff. Chandler, appreciate you taking time for us. Great insight on the Astros. Thanks for doing it in San Diego.
Thank you, man.
Easy, right?
We are now educated on the Houston Astros, ready to go. I didn't know they were balling out that well. They were playing
well.
This good.
I think if the deadline was 3 weeks earlier, they trade Yordan Alvarez. That's where they were. I mean, they were kind of left for dead. They were well under 500. They're 12-3 in the last 15.
They trade him and he's that good?
What's his contract
trade
status?
Yordan Alvarez?
I mean, there was talk of it a few weeks ago, and then they didn't do anything at the deadline. How long is he under contract, Alan? Let me answer that. Signed through 2028, so 2 more years. He's making a great deal. 6 years, 115 for the MVP. 6 years, 115 is a great deal.
You would need 39 prospects.
To get him.
Preller would figure it out.
You're exactly
He'd figure
right.
it out.
The latest related to Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers. There is more. A developing story we'll share with you on the other side.
What's going on with Kawhi?
Let's Kevin Acee.
All right.
We'll ask Kevin Acee about the Padres coming up at 4 p.m. This is Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. Kevin Acee at 4 p.m. The latest on Nick Pivetta and the surging Padres back home to take on the Astros.
Got faked out right there.
I thought you had a read to do.
That was a fake.
But
That's
you
what
didn't.
it was.
Have you seen the Padres?
Because I want you to know, I want you to have this memorized. Not even our show, but the shows before us too. The rundown.
Why do I need to memorize it? I can just read.
Because it needs to be in your head of whether 349 we have a read or not. We didn't have a read at 349.
Can I make a point? I'm going to make a point. How do people act in terms of how do you memorize lines? I can't memorize anything. I am not a memorizer.
Yeah.
Doesn't that seem really hard?
But here's what people would tell us.
How do you do this?
How do you go on the radio and talk for 3
Well, we
hours?
don't memorize anything. We just
I know,
talk.
But they would say, well, how do you just talk for 3 hours?
Everyone
And what
thinks
I
they
would
can
tell
talk.
them is, I'm not a good example. That's what I tell them.
Repetition.
But seriously, like
Yeah,
if I'm in
memorizing.
Star Wars The Force Awakens,
Mhm.
if that even exists as a movie, and I have to speak like 3 straight paragraphs. How is that possible?
Are you a Star Wars guy at all?
Yes.
Is Force Awakens a movie?
Did you just pull that out of your ass?
Well, I've heard of it.
Yes.
It's real?
Which
No,
one?
I was guessing
Yeah, I
that he
pulled it
just
out of
pulled
mine.
that out of his ass.
I
Yes.
said, yes.
Is it real?
It's not
The
real.
What, The Force Awakens?
Yes.
Yes, that was
Thank
a
you.
Star Wars movie.
But I'm saying, how do they do it?
Got you.
How do they do? I'm
Pretty good.
dead serious now. Think about some of the most iconic movie moments. How do people just speak uninterrupted for 2 minutes and 45 seconds with tears coming down their eyes?
I can't speak for the tears, but I'm telling you, it's just repetition. Like my iHeart read, I have to read every day
Right.
for the
So you
thing.
know it, yeah.
I am after 3 weeks, I'm practically reciting it in my sleep now. So if you go through and just practice and keep reading it, you're going to retain it.
What's tougher, doing that, where they're memorizing the entire script,
Yeah.
or going off script, like you can have a Curb Your Enthusiasm or a
Wait, what was Curb Your Enthusiasm? The show?
Yeah.
But remember that show, Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
Yes.
But
With,
that
the
didn't
English
seem,
dudes?
do you think was that real?
I thought it was.
It was.
real,
It was
Brett?
improv.
It was improv.
I felt like
How'd they
it was
do that? Yeah, maybe they
it
were
was
in on it.
Improv. I think the Seinfelds, the Curb Your, where they just kind of go
Do
on
it.
their own. You can only script so much. A lot of that stuff you can't really script.
See, I feel like I'd be better
That'd be
at
easier.
that.
Oh yeah, that'd be a lot easier.
But the memorization thing to
because
me,
it's too robotic.
dude, I call football and basketball games, right? I don't memorize.
And you wrote that
any
all
number.
out before the
I
game.
wrote the game. I wrote San Diego State, Portland State out. But I don't
Whatever
know.
happens,
I
you're
couldn't
reading the
tell you-
script.
I've never been a number guy. Like Jaden Denigle's on the show today, San Diego State's starting quarterback. He'll join us at 5:15. I'm not a number guy. What number does he wear?
Is it 15?
That's
I'm
the
crazy.
thing.
I'm
not
awful
a,
at numbers.
I'm
too.
not a number guy.
You good at names?
Yeah, I know names.
You just repeat it because that's what he was saying. Basically, you repeat it, you'll remember it. I don't even know how we got to that.
Anyway,
I think it was.
I have no idea. The report from Pablo.
He's number 4, by the way. I was totally wrong.
Who's number 4?
Jaden Denigal.
He's number 4. Thank you. The report from Pablo Torre, ESPN contributor on Kawhi Leonard, that Leonard had another.
I don't think it has anything to do with ESPN. Does he still? I think it's all his own podcast, isn't it? Is he a contributor to
Good call.
ESPN still?
Former ESPN contributor.
ESPN.
Former
Yeah,
is the keyword.
he's out.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But ESPN is reporting on what he stated on his podcast, which is that there was another undisclosed sponsorship deal that Kawhi Leonard had with the video board company Daktronics that he is reporting on, right?
Yes.
That this would
correct.
be new reporting in undisclosed sponsorship deal with Daktronics.
Mhm.
So how is that going to play into? Alan, can you update us on where we are? I've completely avoided this story like the plague. Just tell me what happens. I need to know the end result. Like the Clippers get fined, do the Clippers lose picks? What happens to Kawhi, his contract? But where are we in this saga?
I did a show this morning on my YouTube show. I had Adam Oslin on, who does Clippers radio, and just kind of asking him the hell's going on.
Okay, good. That's what I just
And not that he has an insider, but I'll tell you, here are the latest allegations, and then we can go from there. Bro, it's first off, it's a terrible look for everybody. If Pablo Torre doesn't come out and do this investigation, so the NBA just would have had no idea about it, or did the NBA know something about it and decided just not to pay any attention to it? But because Pablo Torre put it out in public, now all of a sudden they have to do their own internal, or
Investigation.
it's not even internal. I think it's supposed to be an external investigation.
they're paying someone to do the investigation. Their hands are
so they
wet
have
to it.
nothing to do with it,
Yep.
which I don't think anybody believes. This makes everybody look bad. And to be honest with you, I mean, listen, the Kawhi Leonard piece of it, Kawhi, what's going on here? Like, we'll see what eventually happens, but these are just alleged
That's what I was
reports.
going to say. They're allegations.
I mean, to me, it's always like comes down to it's like, how much more money do you need? This man was already going to get paid the absolute max contract with the NBA, and now you're trying to figure out other ways to get paid. How are the Clippers involved? How's Steve Ballmer involved? How aggressive does the NBA go after Steve Ballmer? Does Steve Ballmer, who's the richest owner in professional sports, literally is worth over $100 billion, you think he's not going to lawyer up and say, all right, well, if you guys are coming after me, the whole thing just looks awful, looks terrible. But the more this thing drags on, the more it tells me that there is something going on, that Kawhi could potentially have his contract voided. I don't know what that means from there. That the Clippers could potentially get the hammer, get thrown the hammer for circumventing the salary cap. It's a mess.
Can I ask you this?
This is all under Adam Silver.
It is.
It's all under Adam Silver.
And by the way, it's played out for forever. Like, we just need a resolution, in my opinion.
Been about a year.
Here's my question. Aren't the Clippers the most liable party? The Clippers have to be way more liable than Kawhi Leonard. Why? Because it's the team that, if these allegations are true, it's the team circumventing the salary cap.
Right. It's like the company versus the employee.
Yeah, sure. Right. It is the team. It's not the player circumventing the salary cap. You can say, well, the player has these undisclosed sponsorship deals.
But it's the team that is held to a cap and is saying, this is how we're going to get Kawhi Leonard. He doesn't go to the Lakers. Exactly he doesn't go to another team. He comes to us because we're going to pay him more without other people knowing.
And then I also ask myself this. When you go back in time to when this saga played out, when Kawhi signed with the Clippers in free agency, does it make a ton of sense to you, to your point, that you're making the max deal? You're coming to LA, and is the max deal not enough to land the player? Is that what we're basically saying? They had to sweeten the pot to land the player beyond the max deal? So only Kawhi needed the pot sweetened, not Paul George or any other free agent in basketball at that time, just Kawhi? You know, like why was it that he had all these sweetheart part of this deal where Paul George didn't or other NBA free agents haven't, just because they needed him?
I will tell you this, that the Clippers, that was a very critical moment for that organization.
Okay. All right.
And Kawhi is making a decision between the Lakers and the Clippers.
Coming off a title, correct? In Toronto? Yeah, he had just won a championship.
Yes, coming off a championship, and he's going to make a decision which team to join.
Okay. So you're trying to...
Here is Steve Ballmer that's trying to take an organization that has always and will always be in the shadow of the Los Angeles Lakers. But if I can get Kawhi Leonard to join the Clippers, which, by the way, will bring Paul George, which, by the way, will also just kind of put together a real contender.
It was like a moment in time.
It's like Kawhi is making a decision between the Lakers and the Clippers. That's a critical moment for that franchise. Does that moment make you do things you wouldn't regularly do?
It's interesting. I don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah.
How long was Ballmer an owner up to that point? Maybe 4 or 5 years up to that point. You're also getting ready to build a stadium at the Intuit Dome. I'm sure a lot of factors. Yeah. I'm not justifying anything, but I'm saying that was there this desperation of just get it done? However you can get him here, get him here.
And then the other question I've always asked is, couldn't they have just done it above board, so to speak? I guess that's still circumventing. You can't bring a player to LA or New York and be like, hey, come to New York, and you're going to have the biggest sponsorship deal with MSG.
I don't know how that works, but I will tell you this. Their endorsement deals all the time.
That's what I'm saying. With all these players.
And by the way, guys get endorsements because they chose one market over another.
Exactly right.
You're probably more likely to get an endorsement deal in LA than you are in Sacramento.
Exactly. I'm curious to see how it all wraps up.
Looks awful for everybody, I'll tell you that.
So we'll see when we get resolution. Will we get it this summer, or could it drag into 2027? They're saying resolution.
One conversation that we're having this morning, that Kawhi was basically, I think, at Summer League on the Raptors side, and Brandon Ingram and some of these other players that were getting traded were on the Clippers side, and now all of a sudden I think things are in the air. Nobody really knows what's going to happen.
Kevin Acee, your Padres Insider, not on that, but on the Padres and the Astros.
Acee will
and
break down Brandon Ingram.
Well, join us next on Schaefer and Sliwa.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. The Padres and Astros are getting set for game 1 of their series tonight down at Petco Park. It's going to be Ronel Blanco going for Houston and Robbie Ray making his Padres debut. First pitch tonight is at 6:40. Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
All right, for the Padres, a significant split in the desert, just a game out. And Kevin Acee once again joining us on Schaefer and Sliwa. I want to start with off-field and Nick Pivetta. That has been obviously a huge conversation over the last handful of days, if not longer than that. Kevin, is there a latest? What are your expectations moving forward with Pivetta?
Well, Nick Pivetta just talked and worked really hard to say nothing, but he was kind enough to talk. That's one of his least favorite things to do. Look, he has been slowed down. I know the word pause was put out there. I think that could be accurate. I feel like the reaction to it was like, and you guys can tell me like what you think, but like I feel like the reaction to pause was shut down.
Yeah.
And that's just not the case. He threw out to 150 feet today. I'm told he could make a start on Tuesday. Now, he might not, and this could be a really big deal. Like, it absolutely could be. It's never not a story when a guy makes a rehab start and walks off the mound. But we're truly, my understanding, day-to-day as Nick figures this out. And obviously there is a time crunch for him. So, we should have an idea in the next 4 days or so whether Nick Pivetta has a chance to be back by the 22nd.
Kevin, on the financial side of things, just his contract, and we know that date that is looming. Is it, again, I know this is, I'm just kind of curious if there's is there a history where it's just a foregone conclusion if he's not able to go that the Padres say, yeah, we void that contract? Is there a lot more elements to it? Is it a lot more trickier? Like, I'm just, is it black and white, or is it a lot more complicated than that?
Well, I think it's pretty black and white, except I don't think it's not August 22nd or 23rd. It's like, look, it becomes their option, and then they have the typical time frame to be able to say whether they accept it or not. I think it can become a foregone conclusion. They're not going to risk $32 million on a guy who was just on the IL and had trouble coming back, right? So, like, even if he comes back to 25th, right? Like, they're not in the charity business. So, like, I would think that it's a foregone conclusion. They can rework or not rework. But like, they could come to another agreement on a different contract, maybe if they wanted to and he wanted to. But it seems that, 32 mil for a guy who probably at some point is going to need surgery, or, is just going to pitch until he can't. But you don't know when that's coming. That just seems sort of, unbelievable that would happen.
My mind goes down the path of, you'll remember this, Kevin, the Padres sent out a tweet when they re-signed Mike Clevenger. They're like, we've re-signed Mike Clevenger to a 2-year deal. Oh, by the way, he's having Tommy John. This is different because Pivetta's in a contract right now that, again, can be voided or ended, I guess, if he doesn't pitch, like, to your point, by the 22nd. But my mind's gone down that path. How important in your mind, Kevin, for the Padres was yesterday? It felt like more than a game was on the line because a loss, the season series becomes a problem. You're 3 games out in the wild card. Do you see it as maybe their most significant win this year?
Yeah, sure. I mean, absolutely. Because of the moment that it was in, the opponent that it was against. And it was as interesting. What was the result going to be as any game this season, without a doubt, because every time that we get closer, and certainly you're playing the team that you trail, could have gone down 3 or you could have stayed at 1. They're about to play the Dodgers. You've got some tough games coming up, and you don't play another team that you can realistically chase down until the final weekend of the season. Like, that was the last night for a long time, and maybe for the whole season, where something was in their control in terms of them moving up the standings. So that the difference between 1 and 3 is not 2.
Kevin, is there a lot to take away from that 4-game set? I felt like John and I were talking about this a little bit earlier. not exactly the most for a series that's critical for both teams. Not really exciting baseball. I mean, Padres take 2, and the 2 they win kind of had a cushion. Arizona takes 2, and the 2 they took kind of had a cushion. Like we didn't really come down to, all right, you're going into the 9th. It's a tie game or it's a 1-run game. You feel like you learned much in that series?
I wish I was only bummed because I would have never have seen it before. That I wish that the Diamondbacks had only won 9-4, because then the 2 wins for both teams would have been by 9-4 and 5-1. So like that was amazing that happened. And you're totally right. It was like crazy. Like I didn't even capture it correctly because yes. Now they've split their 5 games, and there was 1-run difference here, but every game has sort of been like that they've played. It was a crazy one in Mexico City, right? And it's like I don't remember. Maybe there was one when they were here, being on the edge of my seat for any of them. It just was the Diamondbacks are a dangerous team, and I thought the Padres, that they're good bats, guys pitching above their level to some extent. And I hope for the Padres' sake that they don't come down to game 162 needing to be the Diamondbacks and Brandon Pfaadt's on the mound. So, but no, this was not. This was not a great series of baseball. I think you could look at some things and say, the game the Padres had yesterday is definitely losable when you have great defensive plays against you and Manny Machado, for all intents and purposes, grounded into 2 double play balls, right? Yep. One he got lucky on, right?
Yep.
And so, early on, it's like, uh-oh, and they were able to hold the fort. Bradley Rodriguez, they added on in the 6th and 7th. I thought it was a really good game for the Padres, but yeah, there wasn't a whole lot there.
Kevin Acee is our Padres Insider. Would you say the way Craig Stammen managed yesterday specifically, it felt to me like he was going to be more aggressive as opposed to the opposite? He wasn't going to put his bullpen in a spot where he didn't have a high leverage reliever. He wasn't going to allow Walker Buehler to start a 5th inning. Was that a product of playing a team in front of them, or a product of they got to win these games moving forward as well, and he's going to be more aggressive and treat these things like playoff games down the stretch?
Yes, all of those, plus he's got Robbie Ray and Michael King coming up the next 2 days, and you're expecting that, maybe you can only cover 3 innings, that day rather than being asked to cover 5 or 6 or whatever. And so, that can't be underestimated because you got to manage that way now to, just because of where you're at. And then also you do look ahead and go, okay, well, these guys are rested. Duh, I'm using them. I figured that Morahone and Miller were going to pitch almost no matter what. Maybe not Morahone. He's had a lot of work. But you have Ray and King coming up. If those guys don't give you solid outings, what are we even doing here? So, yeah, he had every conceivable reason to put the, pedal to the metal yesterday.
Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider on the Schaefer and Sliwa Show. Kevin, Robbie Ray will make his debut for the San Diego Padres tonight. I know he's been in the league for a while, so I think most people understand what the Padres are getting, but this is the first time he's going to be representing the San Diego Padres. What are you hoping to see, not just tonight, but his time in these next couple of months with Robbie Ray?
I'm just super impressed. I can't wait to see him pitch, again, because I don't know, that was a baffling 6 innings last time because he was all over the place. I don't think the Padres were terrible, but he owned them. And so it was this weird game where you thought at any point they were going to jump on this guy and they didn't. So I want to see what he's like because he's clearly not the Robbie Ray of before, right? Dominant Cy Young Robbie Ray, except I haven't looked it up. I don't know if he's ever had too many better 8-start runs than the one he's on right now because he has a 1.09 ERA over 8 starts. So it wasn't just the Padres. So I'm very, very curious. And you would think, just like with Casey Mize after, whatever, it happens. You would think that Robbie Ray should be able to give these guys what they're looking for.
Kevin, is there any reason to overreact to Casey Mize's debut?
Sure, because it's the Padres, right? Fortunately, he's not a hitter like Ryan O'Hearn or Ryan Ludwig or Adam Frazier. So maybe he doesn't follow under the curse. But yeah, sure, I get it. Absolutely. And, now the good thing is Vila was back up. They'd been down. Says that he's healthy. You know me, that I'm not going to overreact, but I always want to leave that room for, gosh, what is going on? But the reality is, I think it's like more common than not that a guy comes in and after whatever circumstances, and his were pretty remarkable, being held out of his last start, all the travel, whatever, and isn't great. And the line between not being good and getting shelled for whatever it was, 5 runs in 1 inning, it can be pretty fine. So, I don't know exactly how bad he was. He left a lot of pitches up.
Kevin, final one from me. Just curious we talked a little bit about Nick Pivetta, and it feels like, and if there is no update, all good, but what would be the next step here for Joe Musgrove, who at least over the course of these last few days seems more encouraging than the Pivetta front?
Yeah, especially since he's going to start Sunday in AAA. So that's in Reno. So is my understanding. So that's a step right there. There's not any reason to now look. He can walk up the mountain anytime. I mean, that's the nature of rehabs, right? But no, this is going exactly like they hoped it would go with Joe Musgrove, and so he's going to pitch. And it seems like. And the funny thing is the contrast between the two guys. You guys should hear the audio of one and then the other. Joe just giving virtually every detail about every pitch and how it feels throwing them and why he's throwing them or not throwing them. And but it feels like Joe is really in a good place.
It's encouraging. That is encouraging. We'll see if it continues, like you said, this upcoming weekend in AAA and another rehab start. Kevin, appreciate you taking time for us. We'll catch up before the Brewers series on Monday.
Right on. See ya.
So it does sound like, correct me if I'm wrong, Alan, that Nick Pivetta is kind of pitching for his contract, as in he somehow gets back to the mound in the major leagues now, or that's it potentially for the deal. I mean, Kevin absolutely walked down that path. If this is a setback, or if he's not back until after this date, they could easily walk away from that deal.
Yeah, and again, I think we're at a point here where, what can we really say about Pivetta? The guy's going to do everything he can, and is either his body's going to tell him to continue or his body's going to tell him to shut down. And unfortunately for him, that's got a lot more of a trickle effect than it is for anybody else. I mean, literally, you got a lot of these contracts in baseball. Once it's locked in, it's locked in. You don't got anything to worry about.
This is rare in baseball.
And to have him in this position, in this situation, there's a lot riding on whatever happens over this next week and a half, 2 weeks or so.
Marty Caswell in the clubhouse. We're going to get some sound from Marty and share it with you from Nick Pivetta in his own words on where he is right now in his rehab. Plus, if you missed, Alex Pavlovich covers the Giants for NBC in the Bay Area. If you missed our conversation on Robbie Ray, you'll hear that coming up at 4:30. We have Aztec quarterback Jaden Danigal today at 5:15. This is Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, our iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Live performances by the Goo Goo Dolls, Kenny Chesney, Lainey Wilson, Snoop Dogg, Weezer, and more. September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. While the world is listening on iHeartRadio, you could be there. 3 chances every weekday for you to win your trip for 2 plus $1,000 spending money. We've got your first chance to win starting Monday at 9 a.m.
All right, so we have some audio from Nick Pivetta, courtesy of Marty Caswell, from inside the clubhouse. By the way, Alex Pavlovich, NBC Bay Area at 4:30 on Robbie Ray, starting here tonight, his Padres debut. I want to hear from Pivetta, who you don't always hear from with the media, certainly during this time on the IL. So this is a little bit of Nick Pivetta on why he abruptly ended his rehab outing after just a couple of batters.
Threw a couple pitches, continued to kind of feel the same type of sensation. And then I just kind of got to a point where I didn't really want to pitch anymore, and I just kind of walked off the mound.
All right, so that was abrupt in itself. Got to a point where he didn't want to pitch anymore. He walked off the mound.
Said he was feeling a similar feeling.
Sensation.
So a similar sensation. All right. You know, again, I don't know what to make of any of this other than it doesn't feel good if you're a Padre fan. It doesn't feel good, obviously, if you're Nick Pivetta and what that future might mean. But I think at this point, honestly, like we can sit here until we're blue in the face to try to figure this thing out. He comes back out in a few days, and we'll find out if there's something lingering there or it feels like he got over this just extra hurdle that he had to get over. Joe Musgrove on Sunday, you heard Kevin basically say Musgrove's going to be – he's pitching again on Sunday. All right, what's that going to look like? I mean, I think now you just kind of wait to get updates on both of these guys, but one path seems a lot greener, and the other path, I don't know what it looks like.
We got to get there for either or both, but like there is a world now, specifically with Musgrove, where 10, 12, 13 days out, he's starting in the major leagues. Because let's do the math. You pitch Sunday, that's rehab start 2. You pitch again the next Friday or Saturday, that's rehab start 3. You're probably 4+ innings at that point. You're built up a little bit. That may be it when it comes to rehab starts. And that lines up again with that August 20-something time frame that Kevin has reported on. So, again, you got to cross your fingers and get there. But, like, are we 2 weeks away from Joe Musgrove being a starting pitcher for the Padres
if
again?
If Musgrove came back, what kind of workload would they have him in the beginning?
I think he'd start because I think coming off injury, they're going to want it to be controlled. So you don't just bring him on in the 4th or in the 3rd. Maybe you could if it's planned, but I think they're going to want it to be controlled. Hey, the game's at 5:40. I'm making it up. You start throwing at 4:40. We're going to get you on the mound. It's a very controlled. You have 45 pitches to work with, or not more than 3 innings. It's a very controlled situation. That would be my guess. Although to your point, I think you made earlier or this week, or we've heard, he may come out of their bullpen eventually. You might get to the postseason and say, listen, he's provided some value. He's not Michael King. He's not Robbie Ray. He's providing some value. Let's get the best out of him in relief. So I don't know if he's set in stone as a starter from here on out, but I think he'll start when he returns because they're building him up too, right? 2 innings, 3 innings, 4 innings.
Yeah, I'm just curious how that would play out. And even to have that conversation right now, think about that. A month ago, would you and I be talking about Joe Musgrove making a start or Joe Musgrove being this far down the road? And you heard what Acee said. Acee did say that anything can happen. So you want to be cautiously optimistic, but we have not seen Joe Musgrove since the wild card round against the Atlanta Braves in 2024.
What was it, game 2 after Michael King pitched game 1? Did he start game 2?
Game 2.
That they won.
And they won that game. They took the first 2 games against Atlanta and it was done.
I will say this, Alan. Let's say it's that Kevin's been reporting that August 20-something date. They're off on the 20th, for example. They're home beginning a series against the Twins, 21, 22, 23. Like that to me, if Joe Musgrove is going to be pitching, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. It's coming off a significant injury. It's been 2 years. If he's pitching that weekend, that's massive. Imagine you're going to a game where Joe Musgrove is back at Petco Park for the first time in almost 24 months, over 22 months if he does pitch that weekend.
San Diegan, somebody that's been freaking trying everything he possibly can to try to come back on the mound and try to help this team. You don't think Joe Musgrove is sitting back and saying to himself, if I was just healthy in 2024, if I was just healthy in 2025. Like, this is somebody that's the whole reason why he's living for this competition and hasn't had that opportunity in 2 years.
Some of the biggest moments in modern Padres history.
Yeah.
First no-hitter in franchise history.
Yep.
Game 3 at Citi Field in the wild card
That's
round.
right. That's the ear
gate with a Buck Showalter. Almost a surreal scene, truthfully.
Yeah.
Watching that thing play out. And he's had obviously other moments. He has been at his best a true frontline workhorse for them. At his worst, unfortunately, because of health, we haven't seen him for the last couple of years. He's under control, by the way, for one more year. So I would also be encouraged if he's just healthy from here on out. Healthy, maybe not perfect, but healthy into the offseason.
The good thing is where the Padres are sitting now, because of the trade deadline, there's a little bit of, let's do this right. You don't have to do it out of desperation. But it doesn't matter, because even with that timing, we're not in June, we're in August. You're running out of time, period. Literally, the season will come to an end here.
Next month.
Next month, the season will come to an end. How much time do you need for ramp up? So all of that kind of plays into it. But just to even be having that conversation about Musgrove, I didn't think we'd be having that conversation about Musgrove a month ago. I think most Padre fans would not have thought that was a real option.
Asked me a week ago, I would have been way more optimistic on Nick Pivetta. But things happen. Things change. It's just how my mind would have taken me down that path, because we saw him this year. But now, kind of it has flipped. All right, we're giving away 311 tickets. We'll do that this hour. Be listening for a chance to win 311 tickets August 19th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Jaden Denegal, Aztec quarterback, the starter, year 2 on the Mesa. He'll join us at 5:15. And Alex Pavlovich on the other side. If you missed our conversation, Alex with NBC Sports Bay Area on Robbie Ray's debut tonight for San Diego against Houston. You'll hear that conversation coming up next. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. The Padres and Astros are getting set for game 1 of their series tonight down at Petco. It's going to be Ronald Blanco going for the Astros and Robbie Ray making his Padres debut. First pitch tonight is at 6:40. Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. I know the iHeart Radio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
All right, Schaefer and Sliwa here on San Diego Sports 760. Really good conversation with Alex Pavlovich, NBC Bay Area, as the Padres get ready to welcome Robbie Ray to the mound. Ray, of course, sent south from the Giants to the Padres. Alex Pavlovich covers the Giants. We started the conversation by asking if he was surprised that the Giants traded within the division.
No, I think when you're, 19 games under at this point, you probably don't really have a whole lot of concern about things like that. And look, no offense to you guys down there, but the Padres are not the Dodgers when it comes to the San Francisco Giants and where they might trade people. So I was not. I mean, I think he would have fit either San Diego or Arizona, and I don't think they had any concerns. I think they are very happy about the package they got back. And honestly, I was talking to some people about it down there when we were there the days before the trade deadline, and we all know up here, and Giants know that AJ is pretty aggressive, and so I do think that was a team that they were kind of looking at, just as potentially a team where you could get a pretty good deal from if you are willing to trade in division.
Well, first off, the Giants aren't the Dodgers either. Okay, so we both share that. No.
I don't. The Padres Dodgers rivalry you're trying to make happen. I don't know about that. No, I know it's been a thing the last couple of years.
No, I'll say this, and listen, on the rivalry stuff, you got to win one, or you got to there has to be some real juice there. But I'll say this, and just to play off of what you just said there about Preller, that's interesting because we've kind of had that conversation before. Are teams more open to making deals with the Padres where maybe an in-division doesn't matter? Maybe all that stuff doesn't mean anything, but it more just kind of relies on the fact that people around the league know A.J. Preller is willing to take chances. Is that pretty widespread there that, let's if we can do business with Preller and the Padres, maybe we can land one of their youngsters that can turn into something?
Well, I'll tell you, I think Buster is a little bit the same way, that he doesn't, every front office now is pretty much the same, and they're all kind of risk averse. And Buster doesn't really view it that way. I mean, he's just like, what do I need to do here? And that was, you saw that last year with the Rafi Devers trade. He was like, I don't care if it's June 15th, we're making this deal. So I think from their perspective, the last few weeks, they were a little frustrated because everyone was kind of like, wait to the deadline, wait to the deadline, wait to the deadline. And somebody like AJ, that he just also is kind of in the same vein. It's a different approach, but he's willing to make deals. And I think that is attractive to other front offices. Now, I don't think they've matched up a whole lot over the years. And we joke about the rivalry and joke about in division. Like, there have been years where they're much closer to the Padres and you don't want to make that deal. But I do think in a year like this year, when Giants season has been over for a long time and they're looking towards the future, and this was a case where I would guess that was a team that they targeted as one that you knew that AJ was going to do something, and you knew that he was willing to have serious conversations where some other teams might just ask for, something crazy just right off the bat and make you wait. But I think that helps when it comes to somebody like AJ.
Alex, what's the level of frustration with the Giants fan base specifically towards Posey? I know it hasn't been forever that he's been in charge of baseball operations, but it just feels like they've been middling for forever, even before him. The 107-win team, and then every team's a 500 team, and now the wheels have completely fallen off this year. So what's the reaction in terms of how this is playing out with Posey at the helm?
Yeah, I think it's just general frustration. I mean, it's really been, I've been doing this since 2012. It's the weirdest year I've seen. And I've covered a 98-loss team. I've covered a bunch of 500 teams. There hasn't been a year like this where something happens every single week. And, I think we were in San Diego when the Harrison Bader stuff we were there last week when the Harrison Bader stuff all kind of comes to the forefront. This is a little bit different, but I mean, today Mike Krukow announces this is his final year. Like, it just seems like it is one thing after another for Giants fans. And if you are Buster Posey, you get caught up in that. And they didn't have a good offseason. And this team is 19 games under 500. So it has certainly changed. I think he had basically 100% approval rating here 2 years ago. Like in the Bay Area, he was as close to like, it's like him and Steph Curry are up above everybody else. They're unimpeachable. And look, the reality of it, and he knew this when he took the job, is that if they don't win, if there are seasons like this, there's going to be some heat. So I think you've seen some of that. Now he's still Buster Posey. And I think the other thing we saw during the trade deadline is one thing I just saw over and over from Giants fans is like, oh, Buster cooked today. Buster's cooking like it. So they really want to be there and really want to be on his side. But it was not an easy first 4 months of the season.
Alex, just to talk about, obviously Robbie Ray specifically, and if you follow the Padres at all, they've been just struggling with their starting pitching and a couple of injuries, guys that haven't panned out. So at the trade deadline, that was clearly obviously very, very important for Padre fans. And I know Robbie Ray's been in the league for a while now, but what are they getting in Robbie Ray, and what do you think we can expect the remainder of this season with him in the rotation?
I mean, they're getting someone who's been just grinding and competing for the last couple of months, and he's changed the way he pitches a little bit. It used to be more of like a 2-pitch guy. Now on some nights it's a 5-pitch mix, and it's a different approach. And he's walking a lot of guys, and there is some traffic, but he's just not giving up runs. I mean, it kind of snuck up on us when you looked at his last, I think, 8 or 9 starts. The ERA is right around like 1.0, 1.05 or something like that. It didn't like totally feel that way, especially because Logan Webb was pitcher of the month in June, and that kind of dominated the conversation in terms of pitching. But you look up and you're like, oh, Robbie just every 5 days is giving up 0 or 1 run. And it's not like, this isn't the Miz, this isn't just pure dominance, but he's just grinding and he's just not giving in to guys. He's, some of these innings get pretty long, some of the outings get pretty long, but I think he just has taken this approach. And it reminds me a lot of, I don't know if you guys remember Ryan Vogelsong when he was kind of at his prime, and he would just refuse to give in to a hitter. And you'd look up at the end of the day and Vogie went 6 innings, 2 runs, and you're like, man, that looked like it was hard, but he got it done. So I think that's what I'd say about Robbie. Like, I know the advanced metrics are a little different than some of the other stuff the last few weeks, and I think his FIP's right around 4.5 or something like that. But he's been grinding. He's been finding a way to get through these. And look, he's a veteran who's been doing this a really long time. And I think all of that kind of veteran savvy and knowledge that he's picked up over the years is coming out.
Alex, final one for me. Alex Pavlovich, by the way, with us. He covers the Giants for NBC Sports Bay Area. It's just, how do you look at this wild card race? Obviously, San Francisco's not in it, but from afar, covering the division, you look at Arizona, you look at San Diego. Who would you bet on in a horse race if it comes down to those 2 clubs?
I would bet on San Diego. I mean, I haven't been. This is going to sound rude to them because I don't know if the Giants have beat the Diamondbacks this year or have like 1 win against them this year. But I just, whenever I'm there, you don't see it as much. And I think one thing that I've felt the last couple of years, and I remember writing about this early last year, is just the bullpen in San Diego is such an equalizer to everybody. And I give you guys a hard time about the rivalry, but like I can actually see San Diego being a team that could beat the Dodgers in the postseason if they get there because of the bullpen and because of the Giants just saw it over the weekend, and they saw how those games just kind of the life gets choked out of them. And I know they've talked about it a lot the last couple of years and looked over there and been like, it's essentially a 6-inning game. So I do think that's where I would put the edge. And I think it looks like some of the guys are coming around. Tatis, I know, has come around a little bit. So that's who I would give the edge to. And honestly, I also love what they're doing with the pitching. I mean, we kind of have seen this at times in San Francisco, and it worked a little bit under Farhan Zaidi and Gabe Kapler when it was going right. Like I don't know if they're referring it to as pitching chaos there or bullpen games or whatever they're calling it, but just this kind of trying to get through every single day and figuring out the next day. So from what I've seen, and we've seen both teams quite a bit, I think San Diego's a little bit better. But I don't know. This has been a weird year. It's from our perspective here in San Francisco, like we see all these teams, and I really have not been like blown away by that many teams in the National League. So I think they're right there.
Alex, final one, and really appreciate your time. We always get a perspective, and I think from the NL West, we had a guest on for covers the Rockies, had a guest on recently covers the Diamondbacks. And for teams and cities a part of the NL West, obviously we know what we're going up against with the Los Angeles Dodgers. What do Giants fans want to see in this offseason? Is there I know there isn't one clear-cut answer here, but is there interest feel like could kind of even the playing field a little bit, or do they like it as is? Is there
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, to be honest, I don't think there's much concern here about, the Dodgers spending as much as maybe there is in other places. And I think it's because it's been such a long-running rivalry, and it doesn't really matter. Like, they get Scooble, and Giants fans are like, whatever, we've hated you for 50 years anyway. So it's not that big a deal. I think in terms of the spending stuff and in terms of, the salary floor or salary cap, whatever comes in, I think Giants fans mostly are just a little bit annoyed that the Giants don't spend more in general. So whatever kind of gets them there. I mean, they're not selling out every night like the Padres, but they're not far away. They're at 37,000 with a bad team every single night. And I think most Giants fans remember the heyday here and when they were selling out for, 700, 800 straight games, and when they were a top 5 spender in Major League Baseball. So I think just in general, they want to that point. The one thing I kind of agree, I don't think Giants fans would hate a salary floor because there are 3 big salaries here that a lot of fans would like to get rid of. And maybe that causes other teams to spend and take some of them on. But that seems like, a very niche reason to be into something like this. I honestly, it's been such a rough season that I don't even think the lockout stuff has registered as much as it probably does elsewhere.
Alex, great perspective. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you, man.
And we'll remember you saying that the Padres are going to beat the Dodgers in the postseason. I know you didn't say that, but I might. 9.
Come on, he's a former starter. Let him go out there.
There you go.
So.
That's right. In the Bay Area with Oakland. I appreciate it,
Guys.
Alex. Thanks so much,
Thank you,
man. All right. How about that?
take that? That's a good. This is what we've got so far this week. We got a great Casey Mize perspective from a beat writer with the Giants, and now and Robbie Ray's a little bit more predictable. I think most people would say. We just freaking watched him 2 weeks ago, or maybe less than 2 weeks ago, against the Padres. Tonight's going to be interesting. This is going to be one of those games where but this is the other kind of centerpiece to what you did at the trade deadline. It's why a lot of people thought the Padres had a good trade deadline, specifically because of Robbie Ray. So, I mean, I know the combination of both of those guys, but Robbie Ray, got to kind of see a good version for him, and he's going to have a tough lineup in the Astros that he's going to have to do it against.
Alvarez, yada, yada. What did I say 2 days ago?
2 days ago, you told me that you said that you love working with me.
No.
That you're happy to any finances I have that I need a little assistance with, you'd be happy to help out with that as well.
I did say that, but the primary takeaway from 2 days ago was you get one chance to make a first impression. Yeah. Robbie Ray tonight, will he have a better outcome than Casey Mize? He hopefully will, because it was a disaster for Casey Mize 2 days ago.
Or one tonight, Padres.
We're going to give away 311 tickets. It's going to be 311 tonight. We're giving away 311 tickets on the other side, an upcoming show at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Jaden Danical, Aztec starting quarterback, joining us live at 5:15 with fall camp underway. The wrap at 5 p.m.
Technically, if it's 3-11, we lost by 8 runs.
Yes, that's exactly right. I'm with you. I think it'll be 4-1 Padres, hopefully,
4-1
tonight. All right, we'll give away 311 tickets on the other side. Schaefer and Sliwa, stay with us.
Teachers make a difference each and every day. Now's your chance to say thank you. iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate an outstanding public school teacher who goes above and beyond for students. They could be one of our $5,000 winners for classroom supplies and resources. Teachers give so much. Now it's our turn to give back. Nominate a teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
All right, we're going to give away 311 tickets coming up in about 8 minutes. Jaden Denigal, Aztec quarterback, back for year 2, joins us at 5:15. So we're in group stage action, Alan, of the League's Cup, which consists of 18 teams from Major League Soccer, 18 clubs from Liga MX. It's 3 group stage matches, and it did not get off to a good start last night at the Azteca, of all places, for SDFC. They lose to Club America.
We screwed up
by not going.
I mean, maybe we didn't because they lost 3-1, and it was 3-0 at halftime.
And it was pouring.
Was it pouring rain?
It was pouring, yeah. So I don't know. Do we want to sit in the rain?
Do you remember the Azteca tickets that Mexico and England were to get in? It was like 4 Gs.
Yeah, and you were in Mexico City and didn't go. Why didn't you go again?
Just the 4 Gs part, 2 tickets to 8,000 part.
That was the part of it.
But just $55 yesterday to get in.
Which would have been amazing to see SDFC at the Azteca. Now,
okay, quick question. Which one would you rather? Would you rather see like
England, Mexico, or SDFC Club America?
No, but I love that question. Love that question. Would you rather go and see SDFC at the Azteca like last night?
Mm-hmm.
Or would you rather go see Club America taking on another within their league?
No, I would have liked to see SDFC take on Club America last night. I think
I'm saying
really
for like
cool.
that
atmosphere,
environment of like
maybe
if
MX
it's Monterrey's team
versus Mexico City's team,
Yeah.
maybe MX. But I think it would have been a really unique experience to watch SDFC last night. I will just say this in general, and there's a lot of soccer still in front of them. They clearly it's been an extended period of time, correct me if I'm wrong, where they haven't really found their footing in any capacity. They've had 4 points in their last 2 MLS matches. Maybe the expectation here was hard. You're playing a really good franchise, obviously, in Club America on the road.
I think just that league is it's a different league.
These MLS teams have gotten through.
I know, but I'm saying for
being on the road,
SDFC versus that club yesterday, it almost felt like two different leagues.
Definitely based on the result. Now they come home, they take on Tijuana in their second match of League's Cup. And
by the way, I
just got an email.
Stage, just got an email on this. Good for them. Sold out on Sunday for this matchup. So
they need to win.
Yeah,
they need to win the match is the point, because it's 3 matches in group stage. They're already 0-1. So I don't know if there's a path through the group stage without winning against Tijuana at home, is how I would look at it. Because if you tie this match or lose it, you'd have 1 point or fewer into your final match of group stage play in the League's Cup.
It's kind of weird because, there's a part of me that's like, hey, does this really matter? Or should we just be worried about SCFC trying to make one of these playoff spots in the MLS?
We can worry about both.
I don't disagree, but it's like, all right, preference-wise, right? That loss yesterday, 3-1, is not going to affect them in the MLS standings. Chucky Lozano, who we were talking about a little bit yesterday, he's going to be part of the Galaxy. Literally, SDFC, it could be between those two clubs as far as who gets into the MLS. I know we still got a lot of, obviously a lot of the season left, or at least close to about half the season left. I'm not saying that it doesn't matter, because clearly you want to win as much as you want. I think Sunday is going to be a phenomenal atmosphere at Snapdragon Stadium because of that matchup. But I actually do think they were building some momentum up until yesterday's game.
Maybe they were with a tie, with a home win.
The Colorado game should have been a tie, and it wasn't in the last, it was like the final kick, which is exactly how it's gone. They've had things that have happened so far this year, even in that last matchup against Minnesota in the 90th minute, should have scored, ball goes off the crossbar. They've had moments that have happened this year where it kind of, we see this all the time in sports. It's like, is it just not their year? Like, are there enough things that have gone wrong this season to just, when the dust settles 3 months from now, fast forward, are they not in the playoffs and we're just going to say, yeah, it was never destined to be?
I hope they can at least get into the postseason. I think there's plenty of time for them to accomplish that goal. Now, I will say this League's Cup ain't going to be easy to get out of the group stage. Why? Because there's 18 MLS teams and only 4 advance. There's 18 Liga MX teams, only 4 advance. So the quarterfinal is 4 from the MLS, 4 for Mexico.
And if you lose 3-1 in your first
That's
freaking
the
game,
thing.
it almost kind of shuts the door.
Teams and only
Yeah.
4 are getting through. You're going to need 6+ points, and now their only path to 6+ points is 2 straight wins.
What I think these tournaments do, great exposure for SDFC, but you got to go further on in advance in order to get that maximum exposure as possible.
Yeah, and they had it earlier this year. What was it? CONCACAF Champions Cup,
Yeah.
where they won a round or 2. They went to Toluca.
That's right.
That's really when it started their funk, so to speak. Remember that? They were dealing with the red cards and the injuries and then that loss, and they haven't really fully dug out of it until maybe recently, to your point, in MLS in their last 2 matches. Maybe. So we shall see. But again, they lose yesterday. They've got TJ coming up on Sunday. That's going to be an amazing atmosphere, isn't it? The border war.
It's awesome.
It's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere.
By the way, something to keep in mind for SDFC. You see how what their schedule is in the month of August?
I haven't
just
broken it down.
How much tougher it's going to get. As in, it's not going to get any easier for SDFC. And I'm trying to look off the top of my head here.
What's their strength of schedule?
I know they got LAFC at LAFC, tied with the best record in the Western
West.
Conference. I know the Galaxy is in that mix as well. They're going to have some tough games coming up. So I just, for SDFC, this is going to be August could very well kind of dictate where they are the rest of the way.
Does Tijuana still have that Mexican 17-year-old star on its roster? What was it, Mora? You know what I'm talking about.
I know. I know there was a lot of interest from
Gilberto Mora
from other clubs, but
I don't know if he's on that team or not still. Maybe somebody does. In the chat. All right, coming up at 5:15.
Real quick. So they go LAFC, they go Portland, they go Colorado, and they go Galaxy. They still got 4 games. After the Tijuana and the Puebla game coming up over these next couple of days, they're playing 6 times over the course of these next few weeks. So have an interesting time. This could be a make it or break it for the club.
What'd you say, Brent? Somebody?
It says he's still a Cholo.
All right. So, yeah, I think he's one of the top players he's one of the top Mexican national team players. He's 17 years of age. So we'll see him on display this weekend. All right. Jaden Denigal, Aztec starting quarterback, will join us live at 5:15. We'll get to the wrap on the other side. But if you want a free 4-pack of tickets to see 311 and Dirty Heads on August 19th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, call us right now. Caller 3. You are going 877-767-4760. Caller 3. You're going to see 311 on August 19th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. You just need to call right now. 877-767-4760. Call right now if you want that free, absolutely free 4-pack of tickets to see 311. Caller 3. You're going 877-767-4760. We'll get to the wrap on the other side. Jaden Denigal, Aztec starting quarterback in year 2, will join us live at 5:15 here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. The Padres are getting set for game 1 of their series against the Astros tonight down at Petco Park. It's going to be Ronel Blanco going for the Astros and Robbie Ray making his Padres debut. First pitch is at 6:40. Run a business and not thinking about radio? I think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeart Radio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
All right, final hour of the week here on Schaefer and Sliwa. Jaden Danigal will join us, the Aztec starting quarterback. He'll join us in 14 minutes. If you miss Kevin Acee, you'll hear that coming up at 5:30. And we have ticket talent to give away. 2.
Which ones have we given away so far?
We've given away 311.
Okay.
We're going to give away tickets to see 622, which is 311 times 2. Now we're giving away tickets to see Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean.
We added that from the podcast.
622?
Yeah.
What about 155.5?
He made his choice. He can live with it. It stays.
We're either giving away 155.5 tickets or 622 tickets.
If there's somebody driving right now or listening on the pod that was really good, John.
I have a lot of dad jokes.
I guarantee you there's a handful of people that was like, they put that thing together and like, John, that was really good.
Yeah,
no.
Some mathematician stuck in traffic on the 5 is like, that was genius.
That was unbelievable. No, we'll give away
How did he
Luke
do
Bryan.
that so quick?
Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean tickets. Are you a math guy? Like, do you know math? Like, do you know automatically?
Do math? By the way, when you ask some of those questions,
you want to know if I'm serious. I'm serious.
You a water guy? Like, do you drink water?
5 of 20. Like, you know what a batting average is?
I'm not going to be your
250.
Your best at a math guy.
Like if LeBron is 11 of 20 from the field, he's shooting X%.
Probably 55, right?
So you're a math guy.
Yeah. Well, that one's easier.
It is very easy. It is.
Yeah.
What about 3 of 7 LeBron from the floor?
He would be 40.
42.9.
42.9.
I think.
Look, but if you so you know it like that
because of batting average.
No, I'm gonna be rounding out. Give me within 4 or 5 decimal points.
Well, it's 42.857.
Yeah,
he's a human calculator, Adam.
All right, Jaden Danigal at 5:15. Kevin Acee, if you missed it at 5:30. Right now, let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
What are your guys' thoughts on the Diamondbacks series?
All right, so I like how you framed it. I like how you phrased it. I'm hoping the Diamondbacks lose this weekend. That's all.
So you're rooting for the Dodgers?
No, I never said that. Neither did he.
You're a Dodger guy. Because they're playing them.
I'm rooting for Arizona to lose. That's all. Then I won't say it any further.
I completely get it.
There was somebody in the kitchen that was kind of the same thing. He's rocking a Padre hat. And he's like, well, you know what's going on this weekend? I'm like, yeah, I'm rooting for the Diamondbacks to lose. That's all I'm rooting for.
Rooting for the Diamondbacks to lose.
That's the only way that I will phrase it. I'm rooting for it is in the best interest of the San Diego Padres to have the Arizona Diamondbacks lose. People want to go to those damn games in Arizona. I felt bad for the Diamondbacks.
These games are where? In LA, though? Coming up,
I think they're
Dodgers Diamondbacks, or are they?
I don't know where they're at.
Friends, I don't know that. Is there any part of you that would go down the path of like, what if the Diamondbacks and the Padres played well this weekend and the Dodgers continued to slide? Are you willing to go down that path?
No.
Either am I.
In Arizona.
In Arizona.
Yeah, it's just there's no point in that conversation. It isn't. Because let's just say a collapse continued and the Padres are 5 games out of the NL West.
Yep.
They're not winning the NL West. So it's just like it's an exercise that I've gone down that road before.
Carrot. Yeah, exactly.
With San Diegans, and we've all kind of talked. Even when we were having the conversation, I told you this. I said, you know what one of my biggest pet peeves are? is when we're in May and the Padres have a 1-game lead in the NL West and everyone wants to clip the standings and put it on Twitter.
May, what about like when they're 3-1? They're like, they're a game up.
I'm like, can we stop
like March
doing
29th.
that, please?
I thought the Diamondback series was a good result for the Padres. I really did. They have struggled historically in that building. The fact of the matter remains, if they lost that series, they are in a world of trouble. And they didn't. They got the split. They're right where they started. They're in fine position overall. So I thought they played well. It's relatively well considering what they needed to do. I thought they accomplished it. Next question.
I definitely read that wrong.
Yeah, exactly. That's a question for later.
Yeah, it's a question for later.
Next question.
Does Leagues Cup matter for SDFC?
I think it matters to an extent just for them to continue to gain momentum and try to play good soccer. But at the end of the day, I'm more interested in seeing how far they get in the MLS.
Mm-hmm.
And if you told me that they struggled in this tournament, but then they came back and got a W in Los Angeles against LAFC and played well against the Portland Timbers and played well against Minnesota and the Galaxy, that to me is more important. Not to say that it wouldn't be awesome for them. If they'd have won yesterday at the Azteca, what a cool moment. What a great moment for the club. What a great moment for all these guys. But I think right now I'm solely focused on just trying to get them back in the playoff picture of the MLS.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's been so much attention on how they've played within their league. And yeah, this would be like an added bonus to play well in Leagues
Added
Cup.
bonus. I like that.
But
That's what
I
it would be.
think that the crux of the matter is you need to play well in the regular season of MLS. You need to find your way into the postseason. And right now they're on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Next question.
Follow up to the first one. Are you rooting for the Dodgers this weekend when they play Arizona?
I'm not, but I am rooting for Arizona to lose. And that's what I thought we were talking about when I went on a tangent for 7 minutes to the wrong question. So to answer that question in a very indirect way, no, I'm not rooting for the Dodgers. I'm just rooting for Arizona to lose.
I'm rooting for Arizona to lose.
Yeah.
Because the best path to the Padres in the postseason is Arizona losing games, not LA losing games.
Philly win. Philly's still up 2. Phillies aren't going to go anywhere. Phillies are going to be in the wild card spot.
Probably.
They just got too much talent for them not to be in the wild card spot. It's going to come down to the real question is, does San Diego and Arizona separate themselves from the Miamis, the St. Louis's, some of these other squads? And is it just kind of coming down to those two teams?
I think probably it will.
I think so too.
I think
of all the scenarios, I think that's what it comes down to.
And then the other question is, do either of those two teams separate from each other? Does San Diego get out in front of Arizona by 5 games or vice versa?
Mm-hmm.
Final question.
Akron is allowing a season ticket holder to play call for the Zips opening drive this season. Do you think that's a good idea?
Okay, on the surface here, just getting that question, no, that doesn't sound like a good idea. Like the fact that you're going to have a season ticket holder. You ever play? You used to play with your buddies, and you turn around if you're the quarterback and you're drawing on your chest and just go up, turn around, this, that. Is that really what you're looking for a season ticket holder to do? I don't know if this is getting pub and it's getting love. I don't know if people love the idea, they hate the idea.
Love the idea.
But if you told me that, I don't know, use an example here. If you're San Diego State and you told for Brian Dutcher, it's like, hey, he's calling the first 3 minutes. It's up to him who he wants to start this game and make these subs. I'd be like, that's a terrible idea.
It's gotten a lot of publicity. So if the idea is to market the program, it sounds like they've actually sold some season tickets as a result. And their one tweet has 15,000 likes on it. I mean, the Akron Zips are not getting 15,000 likes on their typical tweet.
Yeah.
It is very unconventional. It is offensive coordinator of the game. One football season ticket holder will have the first ever opportunity to help script the opening drive of the season for Akron. Imagine if the first play is a pick six and it's on like Bob in row 11.
Hey, they're probably hoping it is, because who knows?
What if it's good?
Well, I was just going to say, it depends on what plays he calls. If he goes in there, first play, first down, triple reverse option, second play, flea flicker, third play, retry the flea flicker, then punt, then they'll probably be okay with it.
What if the season ticket holder dude gets like an OC job in like Division II out of it?
They score right away.
I have a really good feeling that that's not going to happen. I have a strong feeling that one's not going to happen.
Let's catch up with Jaden Denigal.
Okay.
We would be catching him completely blindsided by asking a question about that.
It's kind of interesting, right, from that perspective.
Jaden Tentacles, the Aztecs' second-year starting quarterback. He is back healthy. Fall camp is underway on the Mesa. San Diego State opens at home against Portland State on September 5th, and Jaden's going to join us live next. On the other side, this is Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Aztec football on the Mesa about to get underway. Fall camp is underway. The Aztecs opener is September 5th against Portland State. You can hear it right here on the home of the Aztecs. San Diego Sports 760. Always great to connect with the Aztecs starting quarterback. Back for year 2, Jaden Denigal joining us right now on Schaefer and Sliwa. Jaden, hope you're doing well. Thanks for hopping on here today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Always a great time.
So take us through this. We'll start with the start of fall camp. This is just week 1. You still have roughly a month until the opener, but what's it been like to get back out on field with your teammates over the last few days?
It feels amazing. We just got finished with day 3 earlier this morning. It feels amazing to be out there with my teammates and us building this new team that we have and learning what we have and getting better at football. Ultimately, it's been a great 3 days and excited to keep going.
Jaden, how give us kind of an idea of what that process is between now and by the time you start every single day. Just how different is it? How long does it take to really start building some of that that chemistry again? What is that process on a day-to-day basis?
I mean, it's just daily seeing different pictures and how this offense operates and basically how we have different problems that we're going to solve with each play that comes and mastering our craft. Ultimately, that's all it is. I mean, it's been a great start. We're only 3 days in and only done a couple team periods, but it's been a great start.
Jaden Denigal is with us right now. He's the Aztecs starting quarterback. He's back for a second year at San Diego State. What would you say you learned about yourself going through last year? Adversity, injury, your first year as a college starter. What did you learn about yourself throughout that process?
I mean, I learned a lot throughout football, whether it is with the timing overall in the throw game, in the run game, and obviously just getting smarter within this offense is a new system for me. So getting smarter, getting better within this system. And I learned a lot of things as being a leader also when it comes to being a leader of a team and how you carry yourself and how you're supposed to look at certain times and how you can't let yourself look at certain times. So I think last year was a great first year for me, but definitely felt like I left a lot out there on the field and ready to just keep on getting better and have a great year this year.
Jaden, there's some hype here about the offense, right? I think people are excited about what you guys are going to be able to accomplish offensively. What does it look like for you when you know that obviously this can be the first season of part of the Pac-12, San Diego State trying to compete for a Pac-12 championship, for what you can kind of control and your responsibility on offense? What do you think that offense is going to look like this year?
I think we're going to be very explosive, whether we are running the ball, passing the ball. It's not all going to be just passing the ball. We got great Lucky Sutton and a ton of great other backs that are going to tote the rock for us this year when teams want to give us some light boxes. But definitely just that cohesion of me and my guys in the throw game when teams want to start putting 7 guys in the box and loading the box, that we're able to take advantage of some of those one-on-ones out there on the perimeter and ultimately just playing pitch and catch, me getting the ball to my playmakers in space and letting them go be right, starting fast on drives. I think a culmination of all that.
Jaden Denigal is the Aztecs starting quarterback. He's with us right now on Schaefer and Sliwa on 760, home of the Aztecs. What is it like to work with Sean Lewis? As in, if you even going back a year, what did you think made it the right spot for you to be in his offense, and how does his offense and working with Sean get the best out of you?
It's a very explosive offense. It's a very quarterback friendly offense. A lot of options, a lot of different things that we do in this offense that you definitely don't do in a pro style offense. Obviously makes the game a lot more fun just because there's so many options and you're in control of so much stuff. But yeah, I mean, Coach Lou was a huge part of why I decided to come here in his offense and my belief in him. So I think this offense is amazing. I don't want to say too much, but I think this offense is amazing and what we're going to be able to do and how explosive we're going to be. I think it'll be great.
Jaden Denigal, the Aztecs starting quarterback, joining us here on the Schaefer and Sliwa show. Jaden, I've heard it emphasized from the athletic director, I've heard it emphasized from Coach Sean Lewis, as far as just making sure that this upcoming season that there is a real home field advantage and Snapdragon Stadium is packed. I want to get it from your perspective as a player, as somebody that's obviously going to be one of the key members of this football team. Tell us what is it like? How can that just kind of change the entire scope for the university and the football team? If that place is packed, what kind of advantage does that have for the actual players? What do you think that means to the players? And I want San Diegans to hear it from your perspective.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we love a packed stadium, and we want everybody in San Diego to come out and support their local football team. And I'll just go back to last year, like that Cal game. Like, we got an early fourth down stop, and the crowd going crazy, and the amount of people that we had at that game, we were able to rally behind our fans, and ultimately kind of whoop Cal. That basically what we did. And I think that the crowd definitely was a huge factor in that, and rattling the other quarterback and rattling the defense, with just how loud it was. Snapdragon was by far the loudest game that I was a part of Snapdragon last year. So I think it's a huge thing that all the fans come out and support San Diego State. And even if you're not a fan, just come out and check out a football game, and it will be a great time. You'll see some great football out there. So I would love to see everybody from San Diego to come out.
Yeah, of course. Last year, with you starting, San Diego State undefeated at home last year, and single game tickets, by the way, this year starting at $23 a ticket. Season tickets starting at $175 a ticket. You can grab them at goaztecs.com. Jaden Danigal is with us right now on San Diego Sports 760. Tell us about the continuity, Jaden. Alan touched on it a little bit, but you've got a lot of these receivers back. You have Lucky Sutton, your outstanding tailback. You have some of the tight ends, some of the offensive linemen. Does it make it easier, so to speak, for you? Or are you more comfortable knowing that you have so much still back around you?
Yeah, I'm definitely comfortable knowing I have a lot back around me, but not too comfortable just because I know that there's a lot that we can get better at. Like, we weren't the full piece out there last year. We got it done. Some games, and I used 6-3, like, it wasn't pretty. So, but I'm very comfortable with Lucky in the backfield. Like, me and him are great friends, and Jordan Napier, Jacob Bostic, Donovan Brown, Jalen Hawkins, Burt, all my receivers, we were just going to continue to get better. And even though they're returners, like, we still got to go put in the work and go do it on a day-to-day basis.
Jaden, when you look at the schedule, and I don't know, every athlete's probably different, but when the schedule came out, do you start looking at the schedule and saying, oh, I can't wait for you get a chance to play in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl against UCLA, or James Madison, who was in the college football playoff last year, or Boise State? I mean, is there a game that stands out to you that you're definitely looking forward to for whatever reason?
I mean, yeah, obviously I'm very looking forward to the Team of North game. Definitely looking forward to the Washington State game, but honestly, I'm not really. No, I wouldn't say I'm too much looking forward to those specific games. I'm just trying to take it one game at a time.
Sure.
And it really doesn't matter who we're playing, whether it be UCLA, JMU, or Portland State. It really does not matter who we're playing. I just want to go out there and put out the best show for our offense and be explosive.
Sounds like a vet in the game here. Listen to you. That's I like that answer right there.
Yeah.
I think, Jaden, I asked you this probably a year ago. It's probably more relevant a year ago. You were coming from Michigan. You had played for a team that won a national championship. Now you're a year removed from your time in Ann Arbor. Do you still lean on some of those experiences? How do you look back on your experience at Michigan in terms of putting you in this situation right now in San Diego?
Oh, yeah. I look back at those times all the time, whether it be me trying to, as my time in Michigan, me seeing those captains on that 2024 national or 2023 national championship team, like Blake Corum, JJ McCarthy, and how they operated throughout the week. So I definitely take how they operate and how they carry themselves. I definitely use that as a role model. But yeah, I used a ton of my experiences playing there. It's obviously a really talented team, and learned a lot of really good coaching points throughout my tenure there.
All right, Jaden, final one from me. When you're not playing football, how are you occupying your time? What are some other things you're doing outside of the football field?
I like to just be in nature. I'll go hiking.
There you go.
My dad owns 2 horses, so I don't really do that anymore. Now I'm playing, college ball, but in high school I rode horses and everything like that. I like to be outdoors. I ride a dirt bike, ATVs. I like that type of stuff.
That's pretty fascinating. Well, if you like to be outdoors, as you know, you're from Southern California and you're in Southern California. There's a lot of things to do outdoors.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not a huge beach guy. I'm not just going to go see the beach, but I'll go do something. I'll go on a hike, or I'll go do something. I'll play maybe some basketball, not too serious, but
There you go.
Could you? Well, listen. If Brian Dutcher needs an extra body, maybe in the second half of the year.
Yeah.
Did you play? Did you play?
Yeah.
Did you play in high school?
Yeah, I did. I played basketball in high school.
Huh. Okay. Tell
Football
us.
season ends. You guys win the Pac-12 championship after the
You're
college
in the
football
NCAA
playoff
tournament.
run. See what's going on over there.
So,
yeah, we'll see what's going on over there.
what kind of basketball player were you? Obviously, I mean, you were an unbelievable football recruit. You had offers from everywhere. But what type of basketball player were you?
Oh, I was. I could handle the ball, but I was a straight slasher. I'm going to the rim. I had a little bit of a shot on me, but I was going to use my big frame and a good first step and go get to the rim.
All right, I'll email Dutch. No, I'm kidding. Jade, we're excited to have you back to watch you this fall once again on the Mesa. Thanks for doing it today.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, great stuff there from Jaden Denno. I mean, first of all, two things are ridiculous. He was the backup to J.J. McCarthy. They won the national championship. He played for Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Okay. The next year, he's playing for Sean Lewis, and he's starting for the first time in his career. That's really the only thing that's unbelievable. The other thing I found interesting was his family owns multiple horses.
Yeah, I think
he likes to be outside and hike.
I think the basketball part that you were talking about too, like it doesn't surprise me at all. Some of these guys where I'm like,
athletes.
you guys are freaking athletes. You play anything you want.
We didn't talk about his health. He's touched on this. He's gotten healthy. He had shoulder injuries, both shoulders last year. He had one surgically repaired. He feels healthy. He said that to the media the other day. He's bulked up. I think he's able to take on more contact. He was already big. He's not small, but he's now even bigger than he was. He'll take on some contact. Hopefully he'll be better off when he does that this year.
And it's a big difference now. Like, just think about, he's probably so much more comfortable than a year ago as well. And if he's feeling healthy on top of that, and you saw, you heard him say, without getting into too much details, they're offensively, they got weapons. So if you're looking for some high scoring offense, I think you're going to get that from San Diego State this year.
How are you doing on your season tickets?
Well, I think I told you I got the call back. I did get a call back today.
But what happened? I think we're on the air.
Yeah, but I can't call. Yeah, we were on the air.
Let's do the transaction over the phone.
I listened to the voicemail.
You did?
Yeah, I did listen to the voicemail.
All right, keep us updated on your Aztec football season tickets. Kevin Acee, your Padres Insider. If you missed him, the latest on Nick Pivetta and the Padres getting ready for the Astros tonight. That's next on Schaefer and Sliwa.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. The Padres and Astros are getting set for game 1 of their series downtown at Petco Park. It's going to be Ronel Blanco going for Houston and Robbie Ray making his Padres debut for the Friars. First pitch tonight is at 6:40. Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
All right, Schaefer and Sliwa. San Diego Sports 760. Who knows where Alan is? Well, I know where he is. He's walking back into the studio. What's up, man? All right, if you missed Kevin Acee earlier.
I love that. What's up, man?
How you doing?
Like we haven't seen each other all day. If you missed Kevin Acee earlier.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, first of all, have we even told people how to win tickets to see Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean? How do you win tickets to win Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean?
You got to be the. Are we giving it away right now?
Talk back, Mike.
All right, on the talk back.
You got a question?
Now, how about they just tell us how bad they want to go and we'll hook them up?
That sounds good. It's a great
we'll
giveaway.
Let Brett determine here
who the winner is.
Yeah,
because it's a 4-pack of tickets. It's Jason Aldean. It's Luke Bryan. It's here in San Diego. It's coming up at Petco Park in just a handful of days. So if you want those tickets, tell us your name and tell us why you want to go to the show. We'll announce a winner coming up within the next 25 minutes. Just open up the iHeart Radio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, click the red talkback mic. Tell us your name and why you want to see Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean August 16th at Petco Park. If you missed Kevin Acee, we started the conversation with the latest on Nick Pivetta.
Well, Nick Pivetta just talked and worked really hard to say nothing, but he was kind enough to talk. That's one of his least favorite things to do. Look, he has been slowed down. I know the word pause was put out there. I think that could be accurate. I feel like the reaction to it was like, and you guys can tell me like what you think, but like I feel like the reaction to pause was shut down.
Yeah.
And that's just not the case. He threw out to 150 feet today. I'm told he could make a start on Tuesday. Now he might not, and this could be a really big deal. Like it absolutely could be. It's never not a story when a guy makes a rehab start and walks off the mound. But we're truly, my understanding, day to day as Nick figures this out. And obviously there is a time crunch for him. So, we should have an idea in the next 4 days or so whether Nick Pivetta has a chance to be back by the 22nd.
Kevin, on the financial side of things, just his contract, and we know that date that is looming. Is it, again, I know this is, I'm just kind of curious if there's is there a history where it's just a foregone conclusion if he's not able to go that the Padres say, yeah, we void that contract? Is there a lot more elements to it? Is it a lot more trickier? Like I'm just, is it black and white, or is it a lot more complicated than that?
Well, I think it's pretty black and white, except I don't think it's not August 22nd or 23rd. It's like, look, it becomes their option, and then they have the typical time frame to be able to say whether they accept it or not. I think it can become a foregone conclusion. They're not going to risk $32 million on a guy who was just on the IL and had trouble coming back, right? So, like, even if he comes back to 25th, right? Like, they're not in the charity business. So, like, I would think that it's a foregone conclusion. They can rework or not rework, but like, they could come to another agreement on a different contract maybe if they wanted to and he wanted to. But it seems that, $32 million for a guy who probably at some point is going to need surgery, or is just going to pitch until he can't. But you don't know when that's coming. That just seems sort of, unbelievable that would happen.
My mind goes down the path of, you'll remember this, Kevin. The Padres sent out a tweet when they re-signed Mike Clevenger. They're like, we've re-signed Mike Clevenger to a 2-year deal. Oh, by the way, he's having Tommy John. This is different because Pivetta's in a contract right now that, again, can be voided or ended, I guess, if he doesn't pitch, like to your point, by the 22nd. But my mind's gone down that path. How important in your mind, Kevin, for the Padres was yesterday? It felt like more than a game was on the line because a loss, the season series becomes a problem. You're 3 games out in the wild card. Do you see it as maybe their most significant win this year?
Yeah, sure. I mean, absolutely. because of the moment that it was in, the opponent that it was against. And yeah, I mean, it was as interesting. What was the result going to be as any game this season, without a doubt, because every time that we get closer, and certainly you're playing the team that you trail, could have gone down 3 or you could have stayed at 1. They're about to play the Dodgers. You've got some tough games coming up, and you don't play another team that you can realistically chase down until the final weekend of the season. Like, that was the last night for a long time, and maybe for, the whole season, where something was in their control in terms of them moving up the standings. So that the difference between 1 and 3 is not 2.
Kevin, is there a lot to take away from that 4-game set? I felt like John and I were talking about this a little bit earlier. Not exactly the most for a series that's critical for both teams. Not really exciting baseball. I mean, Padres take 2, and the 2 they win kind of had a cushion. Arizona takes 2, and the 2 they took kind of had a cushion. Like we didn't really come down to, all right, you're going into the 9th. It's a tie game or it's a 1-run game. You feel like you learned much in that series?
I wish I was only bummed because I would have never have seen it before. That I wish that the Diamondbacks had only won 9-4, because then the 2 wins for both teams would have been by 9-4 and 5-1. So like that was amazing that happened. And you're totally right. It was like crazy. Like I didn't even capture it correctly because yes, now they've split their 5 games and there was 1-run difference here. But every game has sort of been like that they've played. There was a crazy one in Mexico City, right? And it's like, I don't remember, maybe there was one when they were here, being on the edge of my seat for any of them. It just was the Diamondbacks are a dangerous team. And I thought the Padres, that they good bats, guys pitching above their level to some extent. And I hope for the Padres' sake that they don't come down to game 162 needing to be the Diamondbacks and Brandon Pfaadt's on the mound. So, but no, this was not a great series of baseball. I think you could look at some things and say, the game the Padres had yesterday is definitely losable when you have great defensive plays against you and Manny Machado, for all intents and purposes, grounded into 2 double play balls, right? Yep. One he got lucky on, right?
Yep.
And so, early on, it's like, uh-oh, and they were able to hold the fort. Brad Rodriguez, they added on in the 6th and 7th. I thought it was a really good game for the Padres, but yeah, there wasn't a whole lot there.
Kevin Acee is our Padres Insider. Would you say the way Craig Stammen managed yesterday specifically, it felt to me like he was going to be more aggressive as opposed to the opposite? He wasn't going to put his bullpen in a spot where he didn't have a high leverage reliever. He wasn't going to allow Walker Buehler to start a 5th inning. Was that a product of playing a team in front of them, or a product of they got to win these games moving forward as well, and he's going to be more aggressive and treat these things like playoff games down the stretch?
Yes, all of those, plus he's got Robbie Ray and Michael King coming up the next 2 days, and you're expecting that, maybe you can only cover 3 innings, that day rather than being asked to cover 5 or 6 or whatever. And so, that can't be underestimated because you got to manage that way now to, just because of where you're at. And then also you do look ahead and go, okay, well, these guys are rested. Duh, I'm using them. I figured that Morahone and Miller were going to pitch almost no matter what. Maybe not Morahone. He's had a lot of work. But you have Ray and King coming up. If those guys don't give you solid outings, what are we even doing here? So, yeah, he had every conceivable reason to put the, pedal to the metal yesterday.
Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider on the Schaefer and Sliwa Show. Kevin, Robbie Ray will make his debut for the San Diego Padres tonight. I know he's been in the league for a while, so I think most people understand what the Padres are getting, but this is the first time he's going to be representing the San Diego Padres. What are you hoping to see, not just tonight, but his time in these next couple of months with Robbie Ray?
I'm just super impressed. I can't wait to see him pitch, again, because I don't know, that was a baffling 6 innings last time because he was all over the place. I don't think the Padres were terrible, but he owned them. And so it was this weird game where you thought at any point they were going to jump on this guy and they didn't. So I want to see what he's like because he's clearly not the Robbie Ray of before, right? Dominant Cy Young Robbie Ray, except I haven't looked it up. I don't know if he's ever had too many better 8-start runs than the one he's on right now, because he has a 109 ERA over 8 starts. So it wasn't just the Padres. So I'm very, very curious. And you would think, just like with Casey Mize, after, whatever, it happens. You would think that Robbie Ray should be able to give these guys what they're looking for.
Kevin, is there any reason to overreact to Casey Mize's debut?
Sure, because it's the Padres, right? Fortunately, he's not a hitter like Ryan O'Hearn or Ryan Ludwig or Adam Frazier. So maybe he doesn't follow under the curse. But yeah, sure, I get it. Absolutely. And, now good thing is Vila was back up. They've been down. Says that he's healthy. You know me, that I'm not going to overreact, but I always want to leave that room for, gosh, what is going on? But the reality is, I think it's like more common than not that a guy comes in and after whatever circumstances, and his were pretty remarkable, being held out of his last start, all the travel, whatever, and, isn't great. And, the line between not being good and getting shelled for whatever it was, 5 runs in 1 inning, it can be pretty fine. So, I don't know exactly how bad he was. He left a lot of pitches up.
Kevin, final one from me. Just curious we talked a little bit about Nick Pivetta, and it feels like, and if there is no update, all good, but what would be the next step here for Joe Musgrove, who at least over the course of these last few days seems more encouraging than the Pivetta front?
Yeah, especially since he's going to start Sunday in AAA. So that's in Reno. So is my understanding. So that's a step right there. There's not any reason to now look. He can walk up the mountain at any time. I mean, that's the nature of rehabs, right? But no, this is going exactly like they hoped it would go with Joe Musgrove, and so he's going to pitch. And it seems like. And the funny thing is the contrast between the two guys. You guys should hear the audio of one and then the other. Joe just giving virtually every detail about every pitch and how it feels throwing them and why he's throwing them or not throwing them. And but it feels like Joe is really in a good place.
That's encouraging. That is encouraging. We'll see if it continues, like you said, this upcoming weekend in AAA and another rehab start. Kevin, appreciate you taking time for us. We'll catch up before the Brewer series on Monday.
Right on. See ya.
Kevin Acee. All right. If you want those tickets to see Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean, hit us up on the Talkback mic. Just tell us why you want to see the show and your name. Open the iHeartRadio app, search for 760, click the right Talkback mic. We'll announce a winner on the other side.
When are we golfing, you and I?
I'm not really a golfer.
Yeah, but you're gonna golf. I'm not.
You're
a golfer
golfing
either.
next week, right?
I haven't booked it yet. But
what are you playing, Tori?
I'm playing Pebble Beach.
You're playing Pebble next week?
Yeah, just to kind of get back into the mix here.
So you're going to play Pebble to get back in?
I'll just get Pebble just to kind of get back into the mix, if you know what I mean.
You're playing a 9-hole course, aren't you?
I'm playing a 9-hole at Balboa Golf Course located in the heart of San Diego.
I could play.
Would you do a 9?
Potentially. It's been a while.
I haven't played in a while either. But this course is 10 minutes away. Today I went down there to go, I don't know, I got to do a membership thing for residents and all that stuff.
Is it a par 3 course?
John's
they have
more
18
of a mini
as well.
golf guy.
Yeah, I'm more of a mini
Well, they have 18 as well. So they have an 18 and they have a 9.
But is the 9 more, seriously, is it par 3? Are they 150 yards and shorter?
Probably all going to be, no, they're probably all going to be shorter.
Yeah, I might be able to do that.
The 18 is freaking, I saw 500 yards. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That's going to take me an hour and a half just to get through this hole.
All right, we're giving away these tickets on the other side. Padres getting ready for Houston tonight. Back at Petco Park, we'll get you ready as well here on Schaefer and Sliwa. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey guys, it is Schaefer for my friends at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. Make sure to get out there this summer. Enjoy the Starlight Pool, next level chill. You can soak up the sun, soak in the views at San Diego's ultimate rooftop pool. With day passes starting at just $40, you can grab your friends, relax, make it a pool day to remember. Plus, keep the weekend vibes going with Sunday pool parties at Starlight Pool, featuring live DJs, cocktails, cabanas, and all-day rooftop energy at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort Hotel and Spa, where you can experience elevated luxury. They've got the refined hotel stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, all the excitement of Hamul Casino Resort seamlessly brought together in one unforgettable destination. And you can take your stay to the next level with exclusive hotel packages crafted for the ultimate escape. While you're there, check out all the dining options like Hamul 23, with their lobster buffet every day. You can enjoy all-you-can-eat lobster every day, plus dozens of other delicious stations at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
All right, with the iHeartRadio app, you can stream us wherever you are 24 hours a day. Just search for San Diego Sports 760 to stream us live all day, every day. You can leave your comments for us using the TalkBack microphone. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want us to talk about. Make us a preset so we pop up each time you open up that app. San Diego Sports 760, always live on the iHeartRadio app.
We have a winner of a 4-pack of tickets to see Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean on August 16th. Can I get a drum roll, please, Brent? As Alan gives us a drum roll as well. Our winner for that 4-pack of tickets to see that show at Petco Park is nice shot by Alan.
Cash.
Jake in San Diego. Congratulations. Jake. You are going to see Jason Aldean and Luke Bryan August 16th at Petco Park. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
We're coming with you, bro. You got 4 tickets. You're inviting
me and Alan
all coming.
And Brent.
No, Jake, you're coming with us.
That's right. August 16th.
Your tickets.
You've won just one ticket.
You've won one ticket.
No, you've got a 4-pack.
Brent's coming. I'm coming, and John's coming.
Actually, my wife wants to go, so Jake, we'll hook you up at a future date for something.
Can you drive us there, Jake? We could really use.
And could you stay down there because I don't want to deal with the traffic and the Ubers. Just pick us up as well.
$10 on me. Pick any bar you want. 10 is on me.
Jake, if you could give us each a food voucher, as well, so we can enjoy the show.
This guy went from getting 4 tickets to going to he's
pay
down
200
80.
bucks. He's got to like drive us.
All right, what are we doing here?
Alan really wants to go to a Cholos game
I do.
in TJ. Now, of course, we want to go to SDFC games, and we've done that, and we'll continue to do that. And they're playing the Cholos this weekend.
Yeah, they're playing the
Sunday.
Cholos. But we want that
We want to
experience across the
experience
board.
it in Mexico as well. So give me some options.
All right, here's what I figured out so far. What I figured out is we can get there in about 45 minutes
From here.
And this is
Well, we gotta cross
now
the
on
border.
like, I think you can go through Otay or you can go through San Isidro. But it's about 9 to 10 miles
Into Mexico.
So then we just have to figure everything else out from
Uber?
there.
Once we get on the other side
We
of the
had
border,
a
we just drive.
phenomenal experience with Uber when we were in Monterey. Monterey, no problem. By the way, Mexico City when I was out there, no problem at all.
What if we just drive from here at iHeart and just straight shot to the
I
stadium?
don't know. Somebody's got to tell us. I don't know.
I mean,
Somebody should hit us up on
right?
Twitter and say like, hey, I've gone to a game before. This is how you do it. Here are the suggestions. Here's where you're going to eat. And John will have vegan food.
I'm sure there's a lot of vegan food at the
vegan
stadium.
options.
Would be my guess.
I'm sure when you walk into that stadium, vegan food and kombucha everywhere.
That's all they're selling.
By the way, Mike's in for golf. So if you're not
is
coming,
in for
Mike
golf.
is
Okay.
coming.
Is he in for the Cholos again? Potentially as well. No, I'm definitely going to join you. Here's the caveat, Alan, because we went to Monterey together for the World Cup. The caveat is my schedule starts getting trickier. Brent knows. This time of year, now we're getting towards football.
All right, look, they got a home
What
game
options?
coming up on a Sunday. Would you want to do a Sun? I think Sunday's better than a Friday.
Could be.
I think Sunday's better.
Depends if the Aztecs are
Probably a little
home or road.
quieter crossing the border. Game doesn't start till 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock at night. Well, it's supposed to in the morning, right? Like 8 o'clock in the morning. 8 o'clock at night.
Can you imagine that?
It's 8 a.m. game.
That's what they're known for. They promote.
They only play-
Breakfast with Cholos.
We only do 8 a.m. games.
That's hilarious.
That's
Well,
pretty
we're gonna have
funny.
some options, right? Because they're like in the midst of their season.
They are in the midst. I think they just started to. I mean, really, the way to do it. Here's the other thing we have to do.
We can see them on the road.
We got to go to the Azteca.
I know.
So we go to a good, we go to a good game. So if it's Club America versus Tijuana or if it's
Monterey,
something like that. But we got to get one of those in. Somebody that's listening right now that's already done this, help us out here.
Well, we could go like
Hit me up
like
on
Darren's
Twitter
done
at
this a
Alan
ton.
Slewa. Hit Schaefer up at
John Schaefer, maybe
hashtag
Twitter, Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of our listeners have done it.
Yeah.
I've been me. You know what I also want to do? No joke.
Oh wait, this is the
Toros.
That's right.
I got to go see some baseball down there.
Maybe we do that
Maybe
first
we
because
do.
this is.
Can we
this
do
is-
the double dip?
We can because Tijuana plays at 8 a.m. at their
And then the
stadium.
Toros play
They
in the
only
afternoon.
do 8 a.m. games.
No, but even if there's an 8 p.m. Sunday, couldn't we see the Toros at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon?
it's not a bad idea. That's actually probably the way to do it.
That's the way to do it. They have an NBA team or a basketball team as well. I want to do everything. I want to see all the sporting.
That's
venues.
awesome, actually. It gets me excited if we can make that
We're
happen.
gonna make it happen.
Mhm.
We're gonna make it happen.
And
at
then
some
we're
point.
gonna golf.
Yeah, the golf thing. I'm really.
Golf's 9, just 9.
I know.
Not that big of a deal.
What's the worst thing that happens, right?
I will tell you this course. Every time I've gone out because it has like a dog park surrounding it.
It's a
you could
dog
say.
park course.
It's a dog park course. Yes.
Do the dogs like? Are they in
They
like?
play. No, they're in. They're in. These guys are in. No, but there's every single time I've gone out there, I've gone through the course. Probably it's coyotes everywhere. Coyotes.
Coyotes?
Oh, yeah,
I'm not
they're-
doing
they're
that.
out there.
Gonna eat me.
Relax.
Yeah, you should have said that.
Wait,
not a
why would you say?
hyena.
Now I'm done.
It's a coyote.
Why are
You got probably a
coyotes
lot of
playing golf?
coyotes in your area.
John doesn't know the difference between a coyote and a wolf.
No,
yeah,
no,
I'm gonna
no, you don't.
freak out if I see a coyote. I will freak out and I will call the police. I don't know what they'll do, but I will call the police.
Probably laugh
Is
at
this
you.
the San Diego Police Department? I saw a coyote.
Just wanted to let you know.
Like, we're gonna have everybody out there. Just give us 10 minutes.
I'm not saying I'm calling like 911, but I would like call the local police and let
We
them know.
we got so far off track. Let's get back on track for 1 second.
Monday. Okay.
Take 2 or 3 from the Astros.
Yes. Can we
Take 2 or
He's
3
asking
from the
for
Astros.
4 out of 6 too much? Astros Brewers? 4 out of 6?
Why are you talking about the Brewers right
because
now?
the next time we're on the air, the Brewers will be here.
Take 2 or 3 from the Astros. We'll come back on Monday and we'll figure out the rest of the series.
My buddy from high school, Josh Maurer, will join us Monday. one of the
There you
radio
go.
voices for the Brewers. All
All
right,
right.
for Brent and Alan,
Good week,
I'm John.
fellas.
Enjoy the weekend.
Yes, sir.
Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Peace.